Alright, listen. The thoughts and opinions expressed on the Stay Down and Late podcast belong to me, K-Sax the P, and maybe whoever else got the nerve to pull up. This ain't for the overly sensitive, overly serious, or anybody looking to be offended on purpose. If you're mad, you might want to log off now. For everybody else, welcome to the Stay Down and Late podcast. Let's talk our shit. What up? It's your boy K-Stax. I like that. K-Stax. The P. It's your boy K-Stax. The P. Hey, it's your boy K-Stax. The P. And welcome back to the Stay Down and Late podcast. The podcast where I, the host K-Stax the P, come on here and talk about random things that I enjoy. Movies, TV show, anime, anything that's just interesting or, you know what I'm saying, that people should know that happened on during the week. And, of course, I talk about myself as I'm the host with the most. You know, sometimes I have to toast. And sometimes I have to roast. But just know I don't do the most. I think I already said that part. But you already know the vibes, man. Welcome one, welcome all. If this is your first time here, thank you for tapping into the podcast. Thank you for even giving me a listen, you know what I'm saying? Thank you for even fucking with your boy. I know you're probably looking at this cover like, dang, this guy's pretty unique. This guy's pretty different. And you would be right. And you're in the right place. For all those that are returning, my supporters, my Scorpions. Scorpions, stand up! Shout out to all the Scorpions out there. Forgot to put my freaking phone on. Do not, auto lock. Shout out to all my listeners. Shout out to all the listeners, man. Shout out to all the listeners on Spotify, YouTube, Patreon. Shout out to all the watchers on Spotify, YouTube, and Patreon. Shout out to all my supporters across all my platforms. Shout out to anybody that engages with anything Stay Down and Late, that engages with anything K-Stax the P, as it doesn't go unnoticed and it doesn't go unappreciated. So, now that that's out the way, we are on episode 40. Episode 40 of the Stay Down and Late podcast. The 30s, they came and went. The 20s, they were amazing. The roaring 20s. The 10s, it's pretty cool. The 1 to 10, you know what I'm saying? We're just getting our foot started. The 10 to 20, you know what I'm saying? I was getting the hang of it. But the 20 to 30, I was going through a little bit, man. I was going through a lot. But now we got through the 30 to the 40, I was going through shit. Because last week episode, man, I'm so hurt. Like, y'all didn't get to see this beautiful face. And I feel so bad because it was just a perfect example of poor planning, improper preparation. And who am I but just the humble cog in the machine of the Stay Down and Late process to not being ready, to not be in the position I'm supposed to be in? I know what's at stake. And I gotta remember that always. Whenever I get a little comfortable, just remember what I did this for, man. Just remember why I started this and why we're gonna continue. But now that we got that out the way, like I said, welcome to episode 40. I actually really liked the episode title. You know what I'm saying? For the listeners out there, for everybody that's seen it, you guys are already gonna see the title, so I don't wanna, expose it too early. But just know I really like it. I thought it was really funny. So shout out to Honcho. It's me for your birthday. Eat this meat for your birthday. It's me for your birthday. You the birthday. So yeah, shout out to Honcho. This is brought to you by Stay Down and Late. I sponsor all my own things, so this is a independent program. So you know what I'm saying. If you wanna donate, we're open. I can send you guys my Cash App. I'm just kidding. I have a job. That's why I go to work. That's why I go to school. Fuck, I look like. Keep your money. Keep it. Because the moment you start taking money from people, that's when they start feeling entitled. And the last thing y'all finna do is find any entitlement on K-Stax the P. The only person that's entitled to K-Stax the P is mom the P and dad the P. And maybe little bro the P and the other little bro the P and sister the P. But that's the only thing. Everybody else, you gotta ask the P. You know what I mean? And if you ask the P, then you might get it nicely. I'm trying to rhyme. As you guys can see, I'm in a good mood, so my apologies. Who is K-Stax the P? Who am I? My bad. How could I be so foolish? I'm just a regular guy from Nigeria that likes to talk shit. So that's all you need to know. That's all you need to care about. And now we got that out the way. We got to start the episode with the prayer, And if you guys don't know, I am Muslim. So if you're offended, might as well leave now, because this is brought to you by Allah. I wish to bless you to Najim Bismillah Rahim Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin Ar-Rahman Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in Ihdinas mustaqim Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghayril maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Ameen. I just want to say thank you, Allah, for another day. I just want to say thank you, Allah, for waking me up today. I want to say thank you for it being Thursday. Happy Thursday. Shout out to all my supporters out there. Shout out to all my listeners out there. Thank you, Allah, for giving me the health, the ability, the mind, the energy, just everything that you allow me to be able to do. Thank you so much for that. I'm really appreciative and I'm so grateful for this opportunity to come on here and talk my stuff, having this podcast. Thank you so much for the supporters. Thank you so much for everybody that you've allowed to find me, find my page, find me any shape, way, or form, and support me and enjoy my content. Shout out to Tiani, of course. That's one of my biggest, that's sis right there. That's not sis, but you know what I mean. So shout out to her. She really does her thing. She really holds me down, and I'm really grateful for her. And I want to send a prayer to her, a very special thanks, because she motivates me, and she's always gassing me up, always giving me support, always just showing me love and appreciation, and is always praying for me. So I just want to send a prayer to her. It's a very special prayer to her. Shout out to all my people, my family, my mom, my dad, Mashud, Malik, Arafat, Nike, Adeoye, Uncle Baya, Auntie Joke. Shout out to my extended family, everybody that I love and that I don't mention by name. I hope you guys know that I'm praying for you and I'm wishing the best. And of course, shout out to my angels that are in the other side, that are looking over for me. Big shout out to my grandmas, my grandma on my mom's side, my grandma on my dad's side. Shout out to my Auntie Bosse. Shout out to Latif's mom. May she rest in perfect peace. May Latif rest in perfect peace. May my grandmas and my auntie rest in perfect peace. May Kalila, Elliot, and everybody that I didn't mention by name rest in perfect peace. I miss you guys, and I know you guys are looking out for me, and you guys are guiding me, and it doesn't go unnoticed. You know what I mean? Like, even if I don't mention you, I just know you guys are in my heart and in my mind, and I just want to say thank you, Allah, for this, and I want to say thank you, Allah, for this prayer and the ability to even have this prayer and for this opportunity. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and please protect those listening, those watching, and anybody that's just, like I said, that comes across this video, anybody that comes across my content. Allow this prayer to also be shared to them as well. Inshallah, mashallah, ameen. Thank you, Allah. As you guys can see, I ain't gonna lie, I really take the prayers really seriously, because, like I said, without Allah, I wouldn't have any of this. I wouldn't have my mom, wouldn't have my dad, wouldn't even be here in America right now. So I just want to say thank you to Allah, thank you to everything, for everything, you know what I'm saying? So now that I got the professional stuff out the way, we get to the ratchet shit. We get to the, the shit that y'all really came here for. The messiness, the funniness, and the moments, and of course, the quotes. So now that we made it to episode 40, this week was actually pretty interesting, I will not lie. From last pod to this pod, I wouldn't say I had the most, I would be kind of being facetious, because I did go to a wedding, and that was viral, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to Amira and her family, and shout out to Amira's husband. I didn't get the gentleman's name, so that's my bad. But congratulations to them on the wedding, on the marriage, you know what I'm saying, on getting married. Yeah, you guys are definitely motivating me, and you guys are definitely aging your boy. It's like all the people I grew up with are either getting married, having kids, or just starting their lives, and here I am having a podcast. Hey, absolute cinema. I wouldn't want it any other way. You know what I'm saying? So, big shout out to Amir. Big shout out to the family. Who I got here with me? Because I know you guys, I know they've been staring. They've just been looking like, bro, are you going to introduce us or what? To the listeners, I got my guys here. I guess you could say, we went straight pop. You know what I'm saying? When they say, I went pop star, I went straight pop. You know what I'm saying? With the people, with the members today. I got, of course, Hello Kitty version of Sasuke Uchiha. I got the Hello Kitty version of Kakashi Hatake. I got the Hello Kitty version of Naruto Uzumaki. I got the Hello Kitty version of Itachi Uchiha as well. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be very, very specific. Then in the back, I have the Naruto from the original series version, original Naruto. Then I have Naruto Shippuden as well, the original Naruto. And of course, I got my nigga Marvel, the superior Spider-Man. Not just any regular Spider-Man, the superior, you know what I'm saying? Because you have the anterior, and then you have the superior. See, when I took the nursing class, when I was in the nursing class, in the CNA class, they didn't think I was paying attention. They thought I was just a young nigga. I mean, I was just a young nigga. But I was a young nigga getting into it. I was a young nigga doing it. I was a young nigga out here. I was a young nigga. I mean, for the listeners out there, I just did a money spread. So you kind of gonna have to go to YouTube, you know what I'm saying, to see the money spread, or Patreon. So I'm gonna just do it again, so that way the listeners, y'all probably, hold on, can y'all hear it? Y'all can hear the money. As you can see, I'm showing out today. I ain't gonna lie. But yes, now that we got the proper introductions, let's truly start the podcast. And today's smell good of the day, or I guess you could say today's incident, is sex on the beach. Shout out to the Taj Mahal, as that's where I get all my smell good and African needs. So yes, we're going to start the episode as we usually do, or sometimes we switch it up. Today we're going to start off with some movie reviews. So if you guys would like to see the movies that I'm going to be discussing in today's episode, skip ahead probably an hour. I'm not gonna lie. I've come to terms with the fact that I take a long time to explain movies, so I'm gonna stop trying to lie to y'all and say that it's gonna be like 5 to 10 minutes. Probably skip an hour ahead. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm probably gonna spend at least 10 to 15 minutes discussing the Super Mario Galaxy movie, and I'm probably gonna spend at least 15 minutes probably talking about the drama that is with Zendaya and Robert Pattinson. The reason that I can confidently say today, unlike usually my other episodes where I'm like, I don't know how long I'm gonna be talking about this movie, is because when I was watching the Super Mario Galaxy, I knew I was enjoying it, so I knew that one wasn't going to be too crazy of like a expose or deposition. But I knew with the drama, with what they presented to me on the screen, bro, I couldn't wait to come on the podcast. Like, that movie was really good, but I guess you could say it was really good for the wrong reasons, but that made it good for the right reasons, I guess you could say. Because, well, we'll get to the drama when we get to the drama. All pun intended. So, the movie we're going to start with is Super Mario Galaxy, which is the second entry into the Mario verse movies. Because, I mean, guys, I would hope my listeners out there, I would hope you guys know who Mario is. Mario is Super Mario from the Super Mario games. And, yeah, I was gonna do a fit check, but I'm gonna just keep going with the vibes, and I don't want to stop my motion right now. I feel like I'm really, really good. Hold on, my homie Devin replied to my stuff. But yes, sorry guys. As you guys can see, I was laughing at what me and the homie Devin was talking about. Big shout out to my nigga Devin. Big shout out to my nigga, shout out to my twin, Donovan, man. Shout out to my bro. Shout out to Saru, too, I don't know. I just want to give a shout out to the people that I just seen recently on social media. But yes, we're going to be talking about the Super Mario Galaxy movie. So, what is the Super Mario Galaxy movie? The Super Mario Galaxy movie is a 2026 PG film that is an hour and 38 minutes. I don't normally give all those extra details, but I just thought I might as well talk about it today. This is a movie that is basically Mario venturing into space, exploring cosmic worlds, and tackling galactic challenges far from familiar Mushroom Kingdom. I'm not gonna lie, if that's the synopsis of the movie, I guess they really should have said this was a movie about Mario traversing the galaxy and helping Peach discover her true self. I don't know. It just doesn't really, for what the movie shows to what this synopsis is, it's kind of ways apart, because like I said, it's not really about Mario for real. If we're being honest, it's really about Princess Peach origins. Like, we could look at the first Mario movie as the origin of Mario, and then like setting the premise, setting the stage, and setting the vibe. But with this one, I could say this is probably Princess Peach origin story. Like, what movie can I reference that they do that with? Or I don't know if you guys are familiar with certain movies. I don't know. I could be a little bit in my head right now, but essentially, this is not the first time where I've seen them do a movie and it's really a origin story, and then the second movie is just another origin story for another character. But it's still a whole movie, but in reality, the premise is really just to really give more background information for the character, which I feel like they did with this one. And you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, if I'm not mistaken, I could have sworn in the first one, Princess Peach came from Earth. Like I said, my memory maybe not doesn't serve me that well, but I was so convinced that Princess Peach was from like the same place that Mario was from. In this movie, and like I said, if you guys didn't, I already said spoilers ahead, right? Cool. I just want to make sure I already said spoilers. This one, we kind of get the idea that Princess Peach is from the galaxy too, and I guess where it fucks me up is, right, if Mario was not a video game character from, because in the first one, Mario and Luigi are legit plumbers, and they exist on Earth. They exist in New York, right? And they go through a pipe, and that's how they end up in the Mario verse, right? But then I'm confused because I'm like, well, why? Why did they end up in the Mario? You know what I'm saying? Maybe, like I said, I might have to rewatch it, but I guess we're just going to go with the flow. Cool. But yeah, going with the flow. We go through the first one. Now in the second one, we're starting it off with Rosalina, which is, you know what I'm saying, we come to find out. Excuse me, y'all, I'm about to burp. My bad, I'm trying to... Excuse me. Hold on. Let me find out. Isn't this the girl that was super... I'm about to say, yeah. Captain Marvel? Bro, the girl that plays Rosalina is Captain Marvel. I mean, honestly speaking, if I didn't see her face, I probably wouldn't be able to tell it was her either. But yes, so a big shout out to Brie Larson, aka Captain Marvel. And then Benny Safdie, shout out to him. He did his thing as Bowser Jr. Shout out to Kevin Michael Richards for Kamek. Shout out to Chris Pratt. I don't know if it's just me, but the Mario voice is definitely growing on me. Pause. Like, I think he did. What? Yeah, that's how I know I didn't really do like a deep dive into the first one, because Charlie Day voicing Luigi is hilarious to me. And guys, this is what because who they said that Keegan-Michael Key was Toad, right? And I thought they were joking, but he really is Toad. They got a stat class. Hold on. Why did nobody tell me all these? I mean, I would call them, I guess you could say, A-list actors, right? Let's just put it at, okay. Like I said, if anybody's an A-list actor on this list, it's for sure my nigga Keegan-Michael Key. Keegan. Fuck with your boy. Fuck. I love comedy. Tap in with me. But I say that to say, they got some niggas on this cast. Brie Larson, like I said, Captain Marvel. Betty Safdie, I'm not too familiar with you. But Kevin Michael Richards, that looks very familiar. I'm very, that name just rings a bell. But yes, he was Kamek, the guy that works with Bowser and stuff, you guys don't know. Chris Pratt, Mario, like I said, if you don't know Chris Pratt, that's Star-Lord. Come on, guys. Charlie Day, now that I see the face, the Luigi voice makes so much sense. But the person that surprised me the most, Donald Glover, was Yoshi. Since, like, do you guys just have all these, I mean, technically speaking, they are talented, but y'all have secret talents? Like, Keegan, I don't know where you got the Toad voice from, but I can't hear Toad sounding like anybody else. And just the whole Toad persona, right? I'm over here freaking gassing up the cast real quick, my bad. I didn't know who was all in the movie with her, so I gotta give a big shout out to them, man. Like I said, Keegan-Michael Key, Toad always is funny to me. Donald Glover as Yoshi in this movie did his thing. I'm still surprised because all he says is Yoshi, but it's like, you did Yoshi? This is like when they said what you call it? This is like when they said Vin Diesel was Groot. Y'all just be, oh my gosh, sorry y'all. Sorry to the watchers. I hope it doesn't reflect in the video. So I'm gonna keep talking, but right now the camera is tripping, so I'm gonna just, like I said, try to activate it again. Okay, so for a little bit. I don't want to turn off the camera. That doesn't make sense. Right, cool. Just chill out. Because I was about to say turn off the camera, but I don't want to do another episode where I don't show myself, you guys. I felt so bad last week. But yes, essentially, now that I'm done, drooling over the cast, let me now look at the reviews. Let's just get into the movie. Overall, like I said, it was a nice expose, nice, deep dive into the universe. And it was a deep dive into, like I said, we're not too focused about Mario. Even though in the first movie we kind of do see that Princess Peach can handle herself, this movie I feel like does a really good job of showing us like why she was even, put in that position that she's in. Which, like I said, if they had this planned out from the first movie, kudos to them. But a part of me kind of felt like, okay, which is no issue. But sometimes, when movies do that, like they'll have, I guess they'll start a plot in the first one, but they don't really have an idea where they're going to go, and then they fine tune it for the next one. That's what I kind of feel like they did with this one. Like, not to say that Rosalina seemed out of place, but like I said, I didn't even know they was related. I mean, I played Mario. I fuck with Mario as much as the next guy. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Big shout out to Universal. Like I said, every place that I frequent, y'all gotta tap in with your boy. I don't be shouting y'all out for no. You know what I'm saying? Got the M on my wrist, and I ain't talking about $1 million. You know what I'm saying? But this worth $1 million. But yeah, we start the movie off. We're kind of seeing Rosalina. You know what I'm saying? I guess you could say she's getting ready for bedtime. With her kids. Which that aspect was already kind of funny. Like, she's really a mother. You know what I'm saying? She's a mother. So essentially, because I don't know if I wrote notes, because I kind of got there a little late. Let me see what notes I have for Mario Super Galaxy. Actually, I did make it on time. I watched it in 3D, so definitely gotta say, a big shout out to them. And the 3D wasn't too heavy in my eyes. It didn't make me, because sometimes, I don't know about you guys, I can only watch 3D movies for so long. Like, if it's too much 3D, I low-key take the glasses off. I'd be like, yeah, my eyes is like getting irritated. But that movie, I was able to watch the 3D the whole time. It was actually kind of funny because I have meta glasses, and with the meta glasses, you could record. I had to remind myself I was wearing 3D glasses because part of the movie I was trying to record, but I wasn't wearing things that I could record it with. Anyway, that was funny. But pretty much, we start and it's bedtime. She's telling them a bedtime story about Princess Peach. It's funny because, and that aspect too was cool. Like, it was kind of meta. You know what I mean? Like, Princess Peach was existing in the Mushroom Kingdom, but Rosalina had stories about Princess Peach. And Rosalina also has stories about Mario. Because her kids, they're all stars. You know what I'm saying? What movie was that? Because if I'm not mistaken, it might have been the first one. It might have been the first Mario movie. But one of Rosalina's kids is a girl. I didn't know it was a girl. I thought it was a boy. That's my bad. But it's a blue star. And she's pretty it's a pretty, like I said, it's a sadistic star. I'm not going to lie. Because it's one of the stars, the star, like, Loki tortures people by, like, talking about how imminent their death is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'll be like, your bones are going to get old. Then you're going to die. And I'm just going to be watching you. And we're going to, like, I don't remember what movie that blue star is from. But I remember seeing it somewhere. Like, basically it's an inside joke that the star is evil. But it's not evil. It's just, like I said, sadistic, I guess. That's the best way I could put it. It's just, like, it makes weird jokes that, like, make people uncomfortable. But essentially, yeah, like I said, they have story times about Mario and Princess Peach on Princess Rosalina's island, or I guess her planet. Then someone pulls up, right? And I'm confused because I'm like, oh shit, like, who's this? Princess Rosalina, she gets straight to squabbling. Like, it's a robot, you know what I'm saying? So we're not aware of who it is at first. And mind you, like I said, shout out to Universal. I know Bowser has multiple kids, but I guess they're only talking about Bowser Jr. because in the Mario Kart ride, Bowser got a lot of kids. So I don't know if they're taking a different direction. You know how with Spider-Man, there's different universes. I don't know if they're doing that with this one. It seemed like they're having one cohesive line, you know what I'm saying? One timeline that they're going to stick with. And I guess in this timeline, Bowser only has one kid. But yeah, essentially, unbeknownst to us, Bowser Jr. shows up in a robot to kidnap Princess Rosalina. And essentially, he's low-key getting his ass whooped. I'm going to just call it a spade. He's getting his ass whooped. But, you know, kids being kids, they hear the ruckus going on outside. And I think that's, you know, that's the beauty of being a mother. You know, sometimes when you want to protect your what you call it, your cubs, you know, when you want to protect your shelter, or I guess, let me not say it like that. What I'm trying to get at is that I know some parents, you know, they're the type that, like, they don't want to show that side to their kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I'm a protector, but my kids only see the niceness. Like, they see the sternness, because, you know, kids are going to be kids. So you gotta tell them off sometimes. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, hey little man, don't do that. You know what I mean? Gotta let them know the real. But, yeah, essentially, I guess but, like I said, we're not talking about what they might really know. We're just talking about what they present on the screen. Essentially, she doesn't want the kids to see her squabbling. She doesn't want them to see that side of her. At least that's what I'm assuming, right? Because the moment that one of her babies, right, one of the kids opens the door, he's like, I'm looking for something. He sees the mom about to whoop Bowser Jr.'s ass, and it's like, never mind. Closes the door. But that split second that she took to, like, check on her kid was the moment that Bowser Jr. needed. And essentially, like, because her attack is like a wand. She has like a star wand that she uses, you know, galaxy wand that she could, like, just conjure up. But yeah, essentially, once he kind of, like, knocks her guard off, you know what I'm saying, and, like, distracts her, or she gets distracted, he's able to put her away from her weapon, and she's kind of defenseless. So pretty much, yeah, so you know what I'm saying, like, literally what I said, when she was winning, but the kid came out and distracted her, so she got caught. So Bowser Jr. ended up, you know, being the person, and then a kid ended up getting caught with them, but, you know, she sent the kid off and stuff. So now we see we're transferred to the Mario Brothers, and essentially they're doing a mission, you know what I'm saying, and they get called out to an area in the dirt that I guess is like Mario World, Mexico, and that sounds so weird, right? But they had some Day of the Dead Muertos, like, skull characters, you know, and they were all wearing, you know, Latino gear. Like I said, I'm not trying to sound like, this is what the movie's presenting, guys, so don't look at me crazy. So yeah, Mario and them get there, and then they're pretty much like, hey, like, what's the issue? And the guy, and mind you, like I said, that's what I like about the Mario movies. They just, it's a movie and it's a storyline, but then they have parts where they're just like, here, we just want to show you guys the Mario verse in the movie verse. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I like moments like that because, you know, that's why I feel like this, you know, this scene was just like, let's just show off, you know, different areas in Mario World, I guess, you know, because they're riding motorcycles in the dirt, you know, looking cool and whatever. And then they get to the place, and then, like, they let them know, like, I forgot what it was. It was like it looked like a pyramid, but upside down, and they were able to walk into it, and then there's rocks and everything. And then the people were like, yeah, hey, y'all, we got something going on in there. Can y'all check it out? They essentially go inside there. Oh, there's a blocked pipe, you know, but because of how scary it is, nobody wants to go in there and, like, you know, mess with it. So they go in there, and they unblock the pipe. When they unblock the pipe, Yoshi comes out, and essentially it's not really much introduction besides the fact that, like, Yoshi, like, they're like, oh, you know, a dinosaur. Okay, cool. Like, we'll fuck with you. And then they essentially ask him, like, oh, Yoshi, like, where'd you come from? And then Yoshi shows a flashback. So they show us how Yoshi came to be. And I guess Yoshi he hatched, you know what I'm saying, in New York, came out in New York, and was, like, walking through New York. Everything was going good up until he went to a museum, and then he accidentally knocked down the museum. So when he knocked down the museum display, it was like a dinosaur display, he ran away, ran back to the manhole that he came out of, and then he ran into this pipe, and then that's how they got to the Mario World, which is so interesting. So I guess, technically speaking, anybody could go to the Mario World. It just depends on if you find the green Mario pipe, you know what I'm saying? Because, I don't know, maybe, like I said, maybe the Mario world and the real world are intertwined, and it's just one of those things where it's like, not the upside down world, but it's like, there's the barrier between them is the pipe. So it's like they're just really close universes. That's the only thing that can make sense to me, because I'm confused. Like I said, the only reason I was like, okay, on board with it was because I'm thinking, okay, if Princess Peach also came from Earth, cool. All these characters come from Earth and they go into the video game world. But they don't even present the Mario verse like it's a. I don't want to call it the Mario verse, because technically speaking, it's really princesses. It's the princesses verse, because they were there before Mario and them. You know what I'm saying? So I can't really call it the Mario verse. But yeah, essentially, Yoshi meets them. He has a flashback where he tells them how he, came there, but they don't speak Yoshi. So he only says Yoshi. So that's it. That's also the joke. He only says Yoshi, so nobody speaks Yoshi. So when they're asking him about where he came from, Mario and Luigi don't understand. So that's the joke. Is like, he tells them, but they don't speak his language, so they don't really know anything. So then, yeah, after that, they just pretty much just, like, yeah, we fucking with you, bro. And Yoshi rides Luigi's motorcycle. It was funny because I thought he had his own motorcycle because he's green. So I was like, how did he get a green motorcycle already? But he was on Luigi's motorcycle. It was also funny, too, in that scene. They had a scene where kind of like they showed Luigi getting scared, you know what I'm saying? So a reference to Luigi's, fear, Luigi's mansion, that good stuff. And then, yeah, pretty much they get Yoshi. And I guess that was just, like I said, they just want to introduce Yoshi to the movie. So they go back to the Mushroom Kingdom. And they're like, yeah, like, hey, what's the deal, y'all? You know what I'm saying? We got a new homie, Yoshi, Toad is, like, taking it back. That's why I like Hikimaro, because it's like, I feel like while everybody else is just, like, so okay with just Yoshi just being a part of the crew, Toad is like, who is this guy? Like, y'all not gonna, like, we're not gonna have, like, a proper introduction to him? No. But Yoshi just comes through. And Yoshi's power is pretty dope, too. Like, he can eat you and then poop you out into an egg, And I thought he was killing them, but I guess no. Like, if you crack the egg, the person's all good and stuff. But he can eat people. Yeah, so that's interesting. And then, yeah, so pretty much but Princess Peach finds out that Princess Rosalina was kidnapped, because when Princess Rosalina basically goes or gets kidnapped, she has her kid with her, but she tells her kid, like, hey, go find Princess Peach and, tell her what happened, and then, hopefully she can help me and rescue me. So the kid does some cool ass shit where they disappear and they end up going to Princess Peach. They let Princess Peach know that, hey, I'm Princess Rosalina's kid, and that she told us that if anything ever happened, we should come to you, and that we need your help. So essentially, Princess Peach, like I said, I'm thinking they're finna send Mario and them to do it, or they're finna all go together. Princess Peach is like, you know what? Or I guess, and that's the thing too, she was feeling a little bit of confusion. Like, she was trying to figure out, like, because like I said, she didn't know her origin, so she didn't know she was part of the universe. So she just thought, like, dang, who's my mom? Like, I just was supposed to be, because that's what it was. It was Princess Peach's birthday. So Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi, they're at Mario and Luigi's house, and they're basically discussing how it's Princess Peach's birthday. And that's when they kind of exposed that Mario has a crush on Princess Peach. Like I said, whatever. But they exposed it because he's like, I got a gift for her. And then when he gets to the party, he's looking for Princess Peach. Princess Peach is on the roof, and she's like, she's not really fucking with the party. And he's like, why not your own party? And then she's like, oh, well, I'll be honest, it's not my birthday. This is just, they celebrate when they found me. I don't know what my birthday is because, I don't know where I came from. And then it's like, oh, my bad. So Mario, being a real nigga, he's like, here, I'll fuck with you then. Let me sit down with you. He gives her the gift. The gift is an umbrella. Really dope. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, they're sprinkling in all these little Easter eggs, all these little, I guess you could say, attachments with these characters. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, oh, where did Yoshi come from? Who's Yoshi? Yoshi came through a freaking pipe, and he was in New York. How did Princess Peach get a freaking umbrella? She was gifted an umbrella through her birthday from Mario. Okay. Any more questions? No. All right, guys. Because that's pretty much what they're doing. Like, whatever you confused about, they're going to show it, but they're going to make it make sense in the movie. And then, yeah. So once, she has her little sad moment, crying on her birthday. You know how girls are. Then she pretty much is like, okay, they let her know, like, yeah, your sister, she doesn't know at the time, but your sister got kidnapped and, we need your help. So instead of her, sending Mario, she kind of is like, you know what? I want to do the mission myself this time. So she kind of boots up her and Toad, which I thought was so funny, right? Her and Toad pretty much was like, yeah, we finna go try to rescue her. The moment that she leaves, to go and try to rescue her sister, and she puts Mario and Luigi in charge, Bowser shows up. So it was like that part of the movie kind of like threw me for a loop, because it's like Sis just went to go look for this nigga, and this nigga just came to us. Like, I don't know. Like I said, that was just a little confused. It's like we're going past each other at this point, you know. But essentially, Bowser comes through and Bowser Jr. comes through and fucks up shit at Princess Peach's place, and it's even funnier because he's really there, because that's what it was. He came there to rescue his dad, because in the first movie, after Bowser loses, they essentially shrink him and then they put him into a mini kingdom, and he's inside Princess Peach's house. So he's been there the whole time. So Mario and Bowser don't get along naturally, you know what I'm saying? Arch enemies. But Luigi has been, I guess, been fucking with Bowser, and Bowser has shown tremendous growth, you know what I'm saying, in his just attitude and in overall his outlook in life, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, out of nowhere, the movie just went straight therapeutic, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're showing that therapy works. The nigga has a book club, you know, pretty much showing that, hey, not all bad people are bad, you know? Even Bowser was heaven sent. If you know, you know. But essentially, yeah, that's what they're trying to say. So Bowser, he gets triggered pretty much by Mario, but I guess, you know, he really is a changed person, because, yeah, when Bowser Jr. comes through, he's like, I'm here to rescue my dad. And, you know, like I said, naturally Mario and Luigi are like, nah, you can't just come and steal your dad back. And they try to do their best to defend him. But, that nigga Bowser, like, he came prepared, bro. Like, he picked up the kingdom, like, gravitational pull, carried it to space. You know what I'm saying? Pulls up on Mario, was like, hey, I got this paintbrush. I'm here for my dad. We can do this the easy way or the hard way. And they're like, well, shit, we're going to have to do the hard way. Paints himself some armor. Bro, that part was so dope. And locks in and fights him. And it's so weird because, like I said, it's like a nice fight scene, and they made it seem like, you know, I guess Luigi had a chance, or Mario and Luigi had a chance, because Luigi, like, he knees the nigga in the face. You know what I'm saying? Cool ass scene and everything, but it didn't do much damage. So I didn't see the point of that. That's the only thing I was like, yeah, he kicked him in the face, but it's like, it looked like he was just trying to be cool. You know what I'm saying? They just wanted to show, like, yeah, Luigi be getting active too, because they didn't really do much. And then, pretty much, they don't defeat him, but they, you know, break away from his grips. But due to the fact that he gravitationally pulled the kingdom up, what comes up must come down. Which, like I said, the whole time when they're in the sky, I was like, y'all not going to think about how this... Okay, the kingdom ends up falling down and it gets destroyed, but, you know, Mario, Luigi, and Bowser are all in the house. So they're trying to, you know, escape from getting basically crushed, and Bowser's still small, and now they're trying to, like, down on a random island, on a random planet. So they're like, oh, like, we gotta get off of here. So essentially they're trying to walk through, and then that's when they're kind of letting him know, like, yeah, Bowser, your son is after you, because Bowser doesn't think his son fuck with him, but clearly your son looks up to you, you know what I'm saying? And then essentially Bowser gets Mario to agree to, like, make him a bigger size, and then once he does, they kind of made a truce. They're like, oh, like, okay, so we're gonna be cool now, right? Bet. And then they're cool for the moment till Bowser finds them again, and then essentially they end up finding the people that live on the planet. They make an agreement that, hey, we need to leave, but it's like bees and stuff. So the lady or the queen bee is like, yeah, you guys are going to go to jail because you guys destroyed my planet. You know what I'm saying? You guys destroyed my area that I used to, like, do stuff and everything. So I'm going to put y'all in jail. But Bowser, you know what I'm saying, being so mature, he's like, nah, I could do way more work than these guys can. So how about you just arrest me and then you free my niggas and then you take them to where they got to go. So they put Mario and Luigi on a first class flight to Princess Peach, to wherever Bowser's at, I guess. And then essentially they put Bowser to work, you know. And then during his jail sentence, it's like a cute little moment where they're like, oh, like, so what are you here for? He's like, man, you know, I had this girl and stuff, because that's what they're all doing. They're like, oh yeah, I can't wait to get out of the jail so I can go see my girl. And then he's like, yeah, I have like a rocky relationship. He has a crush on Princess Peach, which I thought was funny too, because it's like, Mario, he has a crush on her too, type shit. But, whatever. And then so essentially, literally before he could even start his sentence, Bowser Jr. comes through and rescues him. So it kind of works out. So when Bowser Jr. comes to rescue him, he kind of lets him know, like, hey, Pops, like, while you've been gone, I've been keeping your legacy alive, and, like, I've been doing the thing that you've been saying that we want to do. Because I'm looking at the time, and I'm like, dang, I know. I'm not supposed to be doing too long on the movie reviews, but this movie, there was a lot going on. For that hour and 38 minutes, it was a lot going on. Like, outside of the main movie, that's why I'm trying to mention all these little random segues and stuff. But essentially, they were just showing characters. There was a lot of character development. The pacing was really nice. The visuals, stunning. Like I said, the colors were like jumping off the screen. Literally 3D, pun intended, all that. So it looked really nice, visually appealing. I felt like I was watching a video game movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like I was watching, like, I don't know if you guys watch walkthroughs, right? But people that play video games, they record themselves playing through the video games. And there's some people on YouTube that record themselves playing video games, but they only show the cutscene. So it'd be like from the start to the end of the game, and it'd just be the cutscene. And it'd be like, for example, the Mortal Kombat movie. So like they'll just split all the cutscenes in Mortal Kombat in order, so that way you could get a chronological idea of how the storyline went with no gameplay, just straight movies. So that's what I feel like I was watching. Not really seeing much gameplay, seeing really just the movie, seeing the cutscenes. And then, like I said, we learned that Princess Peach and Rosalina are connected. They have powers. And that's eventually how Princess Peach uses her connection to Princess Rosalina to free them. They, essentially, like I said, because I'm like, do they end up being cool with Bowser and them at the end? Let me see. Let me see my notes. I don't think they can. I don't think they could be because, yeah. Oh, man. So, that too, right? That's what I'm saying. I would have to really sit here and really, like, tell you guys everything that happened. But, the final fight scene, because like I said, at first, Bowser is like, hey, I'm with y'all. I'm gonna fuck with you, Mario and Luigi. But, I mean, honestly speaking, in his position, I would do the same thing too. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I want to be free, I gotta play the role. You know what I'm saying? So I think he was just playing the role. And then when he got with his son, he realized, nah, fuck all that. I'm really like a planet destroyer. Like I don't want to fuck with these niggas. And yeah, because there's a point where, like I said, they fight is Bowser Jr. and Bowser versus Mario and Luigi, and then Bowser gets thrown into some lava at one point. I kid you not. And I thought he died. I ain't gonna lie. But he came back to life, and he turned into Bowser Bones, which was so interesting to me, because I was like, is that how he's gonna be? Because, it's given that they're gonna make another Mario movie. So I'm like, are they gonna show him getting his skin back in the third one? I don't know, man. I don't know, y'all. But, yeah, pretty much Mario and Luigi win, and then they go back to the Mushroom Kingdom, and then they realize the Mushroom Kingdom is destroyed, and they don't show them building it, like, physically, but they show, like, a little video game cutscene of them building it. I like that, too. I like how, like, at certain points, it will be 3D, and it'll be 2D, like a video game screen. Like, when Bowser Jr. was trying to attack Princess Peach and Mario, on his side, it looked like a Mario game. But in the Mario side, it looked like real life issues. And I like the way that they showed the, like I said, the way they made the Mario verse come to life was just really dope. So, overall, I give the movie a 4 out of 5. I enjoyed it, and I think that it should be something that should be in y'all rotation. And if you can go see it, go watch it. So, that was the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Now we're about to get into the drama, which, like I said, pun intended, was a lot of drama. So what is the drama? Let's go see the IMDb, you know what I'm saying, synopsis. I might not be able to get into the other shows today that I had on today's list, because I just want to talk to you guys also about let's see what episodes did I watch this week. I wanted to talk about the Jujutsu Kaisen episode, but technically speaking, I didn't finish it, so I can't really talk a bit. The Darwin incident, But I will, if anything, I'll touch base on the Invincible because I started watching the Invincible recent season, and I've already seen the Invincible timeline explained. Like I said, I spoil things for myself. I can't help it. I'm a theorist. I like when I watch something and I know there's more. I just need to. Sometimes I can't wait for the show to come out. I got to just figure it out. And like I said, I feel like, you know, I don't know. Maybe I'm alone in this, but I think a big part of like watching TVs, dramas, and then just media in general is being able to confer or get with other people and talk about it, right? Like, is that not a goal that we should be having? Like, I like discussing theory. I like talking about movies, TV shows, and then seeing what other people thought versus what I thought, coming up with ideas and seeing like, okay, well, like, especially when it's like, you know, like I said, I feel like a true creator wants that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I already have my vision, but I want you guys to be able to interpret it yourselves too. So I like interpreting things a lot, you know? And like I said, from the interpretation that had, or I say all that to say that, like I said, I like to spoil things for myself, you know? But I had to give you guys the reason why I do that. But I say that to say that this season of Invincible is holding up so far. I'm only like 4 episodes in. Technically, really 3 because I had to rewatch some episodes because I kind of fell asleep watching it. And the episode that I'm on is like the Herm. Apparently, that was the lowest rated episode. I don't know why. I don't know why everybody has an issue with Damien Darkblood. You know, the Hellboy. You know what I'm saying? The Invincible Hellboy. I didn't really see, but I haven't finished the episode, so like I said, I don't know. But they said that's the lowest rated episode. But yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today. But yeah, so I'm probably not going to talk about Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm probably not going to talk about the Darwin incident. So we'll get into those next week. But like I said, I want to talk about the drama. Like I said, I'm probably going to spend, if you guys don't want to, no spoilers, skip ahead 30 minutes. I'm going to try to keep that one tight. That one is more fresh on my brain, so I'm able to remember it a little more quicker. And that story is more, like, it's not too much going on in the background, so I'm not going to have too many tangents. And then I'm going to talk about some stuff from Instagram, and then I might get into how my week went. But like I said, you know, the real highlight of my week was, of course, that Saturday wedding. So, you know. But yes, now we're about to get into the drama. So the drama is a movie is, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the premise around it too. So the drama came out 2026. It's rated R. Rated R. I don't know why I didn't know that. But an hour and 45 minutes. And one thing I will say, big shout out to Zendaya and Robert Pattinson. I'm so sorry if I keep butchering your last name, brother. The way that y'all went on a press tour for this movie and like threw us off so far off from what the actual movie was going to be. They make it seem like it's a really cute movie, like it's a really cute rom-com. Like, we're about to see this. Like, I'm thinking it's just some surface level issues that they're about to talk about on this movie. No. I feel like they really was like talking about America for real. Like, talking about the state that we're in. Like, bro, good movie. Like, it's good, but it's not like it's good because it's like, oh, the movie's super good. It's good for what I feel like the conversation that it brings. That's what I'm saying. A good movie, good media should bring conversation, you know? If you're just watching something and you just leave after it and you don't have no thoughts, I think that's because I feel like I don't want to put too much pressure on the creators. Like, that's a bad thing. Like, that I think the creator fucked up. No, I mean, you know. But I think, like I said, shit should be thought-provoking. Even if it's just a little thought-provoking, you know? Because this movie, like I said, it's a dark comedy, romantic comedy, drama, romance. And this is what they say is a synopsis. A happily engaged couple is put to the test when an unexpected turn sends their wedding week off the rails. I love when I see these because it's like, what you mean, unexpected turn? Well, no. Actually, that's actually pretty accurate, and it's even funnier too. Look, the Mario movie. Oh dang, I deleted it. Let's undo closing that tab. The Mario had a 6.5 out of 10 rating on IMDb, while the drama has a 7.5 out of 10. I'm telling you, it's a good movie, but not for the reason that you're thinking, right? Cool. Right. So, And that's how I'm saying, bro. And first off. Shout out to Zendaya. Shout out to Robert Pattinson. Shout out to like I already shouted out the cast on Mario. But shout out to Tom Holland, brother. You're such a genius, bro. Man, like I said, for one, I'm jealous because I've had the biggest crush on Zendaya for the longest. So I was already hurt when I heard that you guys got together, you know. But then I heard you guys got married, and I was like, dang, man. Like, I knew you was a smart nigga, but this movie just, like, really showed me, like, yeah, bro, you was smart as fuck, bro. Because if she was my girlfriend, I don't know if I could do this movie. But knowing that she's your wife, it kind of does hit different. And then it's just cool. Like, just seeing Zendaya play a wife, bro. I don't know how to explain it. Like, Zendaya being a girlfriend, it's like, luckily, every nigga's dream, bro. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe... I'm biased as fuck. I'm gonna be honest. I'm super biased because I like Zendaya. But, she just seemed like the type of girl that a nigga would want to be with, bro. Like, she wasn't too strict. She seemed very easygoing. Like, she seemed kind of tomboyish in the sense that, like, she seemed like you could have fun with her, bro. Like, because from the start of the movie, they start off really cute. That's how they put you in a false sense of security, right? They have the movie, we're starting off, and they're, it's a week before their marriage. I got there late. I'll be honest. It's a week before the wedding, but spoiler alert, they get married. It's a week before they're married, and like I said, me and my family, we're hosting something this weekend, so it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, till you're hosting, you don't be realizing how much effort and like planning goes into stuff. I've been forgetting how freaking extensive weddings are. Like, I've been wanting to have a wedding, but then I'm like, it's a part of like getting older, you know, like realizing that all that movie magic isn't movie magic. Like, it's a green screen, and it's actually people putting effort to make it look pretty, but it's like, there's a lot of effort that goes into it, because just watching them plan for their wedding was stressing me out, bro. I'll be honest, bro. So I guess we're kind of shown, so that's how they do it, right? Because I'm walking a little bit because it's helping me remember it. We're seeing that Robert Pattinson is making a letter, a speech, a wedding speech for Zendaya. And essentially, his wedding speech was kind of like how they met. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're giving flashbacks of like, oh, when they first started talking, and how like when he first met her, he seen her reading a book, and like any nigga does, he never read the book, but he just wanted to talk to her. So it was like, you this book? I've read it, I loved it. And then essentially he got a date out of her, but when it went to the date, she brought up the book. So yeah, like, how did you think about this? How did the ending make you feel? Because the ending made me feel like this. And he's like, you know, at first I ain't gonna lie, he was bullshitting so good, he had me convinced he read the book. But then he just was like, I didn't read the book. And like I said, I just thought it was so real. Like, the way that they ended up together gave me hope that I could find my love of my life, because, you know, on paper, that does sound creepy as fuck, right? Like, a nigga doesn't know anything about a book, but he follows up on a date, and then he tells you he does, and then he, you know what I'm saying? Like, he just exposes he doesn't. But that's real. You know what I'm saying? You know how many people do shit like that? Like, okay, I know she's interested in Hello Kitty, for example. Let me say I fuck with Hello Kitty. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, as long as you don't ask me nothing in particular, I could say I know Hello Kitty. But when she starts saying some real shit, I'm gonna have to, you know what I'm saying? And depending on the vibe, she might fuck with your boy. And the vibe was so right. But like I said, I think it's just, I don't know, maybe it's the character that she was just playing. Because I'm just like, bro, she just comes off so cool. You know what I'm saying? She just comes off so cool. Because essentially, she's like, yeah, that was weird, but I guess it's kind of cool. Like, that's cool with me. But he essentially is like, on the speech was like, giving us different details about her. Like, that's what it was. They were showing us how in love they were, and how like confident he was. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I guess that's why how his behavior starts deteriorating later on in the movie is so like eye opening, because prior to the information, or prior to the unexpected turn, like they said, he was so locked in. Like, this guy knew. He knew her like back of his hand. He's like, I love her. Bro, she's deaf. So she's deaf in one ear. So like, there was a scene, cute ass scene, where she's like, well, let's test it out. Like, am I really deaf? And he's like whispering in her ear, and she's like, I really couldn't hear that. And then he's like, I love you so much. Like, I can't live without you. Like I said, seeing is that if I was Tom Holland, I would be so offended to see. But because Zendaya is such a good actor, you gotta just let her rock. You gotta just let her rock. It's like the fact that I'm feeling like this, it just shows how good of an actor she is. Because the chemistry was chemistry. And usually y'all know me. Y'all heard me how I went on one battle after another. Tiana Taylor and Leonardo DiCaprio, I'm sorry, they didn't make sense as a couple to me. But Robert Pattinson and Zendaya, bro, I ain't gonna lie. Like I said, Tom Holland, I would have to put Robert Pattinson to the side. Like, hey, you ain't fucking my bitch, right, bro? Because y'all coming off a little bit too intimate, bro. Y'all coming off too, like, this relationship is too real. You feel me? So, essentially, they keep going on. They go into the things. So, like I said, they're continuing the wedding preparations. The scene where, well, pretty much, like I said, at this point, we're seeing all the cute stuff that they're doing. And then they do a rehearsal for a dance. Because I guess they want to do a dance at their wedding. Which, like I said, they don't really bring this dance back. Oh, well, like I said, shout out to Fish and Jelly. All of these scenes were very intentional in the sense of, like, just showing the dynamic between them. The whole time, the movie is showing us that Zendaya is very forgiving and that she's able to pivot and adjust. But they're showing that Robert Pattinson is pretty obsessive. Once he's stuck on something, he's stuck on something. Like, they're showing us their personalities, but with situations, you know what I mean? And now looking back, the movie did a really good job at that. Because there's a scene where they're practicing their dancing, and she's just like, hey, this is too complicated. Let's just dance regular. And he's like, nah, I think we should do it like this. To the point where him and the freaking dance instructor were low-key, like, ganged up on her and was like, girl, if you don't walk in. Bro, the dance instructor says, I ain't gonna lie, like I said, got a little rude. It's so funny because I thought Robert Pattinson was messing with the dance instructor, you know? Like, because the way that she just seemed way too invested into their wedding, you know what I'm saying? Like, for someone that was just to be a dance instructor, from my opinion. But, yeah, he wasn't messing with her. I'm recording. He wasn't messing with her. And then, like I said, they continue on. And then they go out. And then they see their DJ, the person that's supposed to be DJing their freaking wedding, smoking heroin. Bro, like I said, that right there already seemed like, it was like, whoa, such a jump. Like, we got weed, we got coke, we got, you know what I'm saying, we got crack. They said heroin. Damn. I don't know what I would do if I see my DJ doing heroin either. But essentially, they see the DJ doing that, and they meet with the bridesmaid and the man of honor for they're choosing what food they're gonna have for the wedding and the drinks they're gonna have for the wedding. But while doing it, you know, they have wine. So wine is getting into their system. They're getting a little lit. They're getting a little, you know what I'm saying? They're opening up to each other. You know what I mean? And the maid of honor and the best man, they're married. So they're telling Robert Pattinson and Zendaya, like, oh, like, you know, I don't know. I don't remember in particular what led up to this, but essentially, the maid of honor, she kicks this all off, which is so funny, right? Like, she's the most, I guess you could say, offended by the information, but we probably would have never found none of this out if she wasn't so pressed to be messy, I guess you could say. We're being honest. Like, I hate to bring race into this, right? I don't. But it's just what white women do. When they think, because how can I explain it without it sounding crazy, but just really particular? I'll just say for the movie. Essentially, I guess she just thought that whatever her nigga did was just so bad compared to what she did that it would be okay. Like, I don't know, like, because it's one of those things where, like, let's say, for example, everybody has a dark secret at the table. She, out of nowhere, was like, hey, let's talk about my nigga's dark secret. And the nigga was like, I don't want to talk about this. Like, he was very adamant about not speaking about his, you know, bad experience. But she being so freaking pushy, she was like, okay, well, I'll tell mine then. And then he's like, man, fuck that. If I'm about to say it in front of all of y'all, everybody got to say their darkest thing. Like, I guess between them, there was like, oh, before we got together, we was like, what's the worst thing you ever did? Which, man, I ain't gonna lie. When that part came up, I kind of went silent because I was like, dang, I've done a lot of bad stuff. I've done a lot of bad stuff. You know what I mean? And I've done stuff that I'm not proud of. You know what I mean? You feel me? I'll be honest. So watching that movie made me feel like I ain't gonna lie. Like if I do tell someone, I would just hope we just really locked in because, you know, it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, you think you know a guy till you really know a guy, you know? And it's like, I guess that's the whole premise of the movie is like, you really don't know anybody till you really know anybody, you know? Because the whole time, we're just sitting here just thinking like everybody here is normal, but it's like, no, everybody has some dark past, you know? Not everybody, but people have dark past. And essentially, the boyfriend or the husband, I forgot the guy, but the maid of honor's man, she tells him, you know, she basically prices out of him. And he's like, okay, well, when I was with my ex, there was one time that we went to Mexico. We wasn't getting along, but we in Mexico, whatever. And then a rabid dog came, and essentially I used her as a shield to protect me from the dog. Okay, that's a pretty bad story, but they don't give too much detail. Like, they don't say, like, if she got hurt or anything like that. Essentially, we just know that he used her as a shield. And I guess this is kind of when the maid of honor realized, why did I do this? Like, compared to his story, my story way worse. But I don't think, that's what I'm saying, like, white women, I don't think she realized that. You know what I'm saying? She's just so far removed from the situation. I don't think she realized how what she did was going to come off sounding. Because, like I said, she talks about her story. Her story is that she had a neighbor who was a little slow. I'm guessing that's what the word they use. So I'm guessing, like, you know, might have had something going on with him. Special needs, I'm assuming. And he was trying to play with her. And I guess she just didn't fuck with him for whatever reason. You know, little kids being little kids, you know. And then he asked her to go play. And he took her to, you know, granted, I mean, it probably wasn't the best place to play with a little kid. But he took her to a trailer. And then the trailer was filthy, as she said, as she described it. Terrible, horrible. And she seen a closet. And it was like, she just decided to put him in a closet. Man. Because like I said, when I've done the bad stuff I've done, it's never been like no shit like that. Like, I guess you could say the bad stuff I've done was, like I said, like to partners, you know, like just relationship shit. But like hearing stuff like this, like when I hear things people like this, I'm like, what goes through someone's brain to make you do something like that's evil? Like, she puts the little kid, and she's a little kid herself, but she puts the little kid in a closet, locks the closet, and then she said he started screaming. So she ran away because she panicked. And she left him there. Well, duh. Who would not? Like, of course he's going to start screaming. You just locked little bro in a closet. And then he's asking you to let him out. And you don't let him out. Like, that's why I'm like, to me, I know. Because that's already really terrible. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, I'm like, oh, of the vote at the table, she's the worst person here. That's how I'm convinced. Because I'm like, essentially, she leaves, and then she's like, oh, I don't really know what happens, but everything's okay because he was found. You know, she doesn't even tell nobody that she knew where he was at or anything. And then she says, like, he never comes back to her or anything like that. And then, like, even the Fish and Jelly YouTube channel that I watched, the do movie reviews, shout out to them. They even said it too. They was like, yeah, like, he probably was scared of you. Like, my neighbor, just that I was trying to be friends with, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, as someone that special needs, I'm sure he's probably like, that probably fucked him up. No cap. Like, you were just trying to be friends, and yeah, granted, you might not have the best way of showing it, but imagine you try to befriend someone and they lock you in a closet. Nah, you probably not gonna ever try to talk to nobody again. For real. But then yeah, so now we move to Robert Pattinson's character. Okay, cool. And I ain't gonna lie, I thought he kind of got off easy with this one because, excuse me. Sorry about that. I'm so sorry y'all had to see that. I just had a little mucus. I'm sorry. I apologize. That was disgusting. I didn't think it was gonna regurgitate so fast like that. But dang, bruh. You know. Dang, bruh. Never mind. Oh, wow. So yeah, sometimes you be thinking people be fucking with you. Hey, just to my niggas out there, trust me, cause I almost did some thirsty shit today, and then something just told me like, Caduce, she do not fuck with you like that. She do not fuck with you like that, and I'm so glad that that voice in my head told me that, because the person in question is this guy that's hard. The person in question just liked my message. I just try to give them some support. So you know what I mean. It just goes to show, like, that's what I'm saying. I be trying to tell, like, I be trying to tell myself. I be trying to tell niggas. I'm really trying to tell myself. She just being nice, gang. She do not want you. She's just being nice, and I'm glad that I'm always able to remind myself of that, because yeah, that right there always allows me to stop being thirsty, because I kind of was being thirsty today. So yeah, sorry about that. But back to the main story at hand. Yeah, I feel like they let my nigga Robert Pattinson get off a little bit too easy, because it seemed like everybody else really tried their best to remember something they did terrible and like really talk about it. But he was just like, yeah, he's like, I cyberbullied somebody, because he's from London. He's like, I cyberbullied someone so bad that they moved and they left to school. But he's like, I don't really even know if it was me, because it could have been coincidence. But essentially, he was like, the worst thing I ever did was cyberbully somebody. So now, okay, cool. Let's list the bad things that they said. One person used their girlfriend as a shield from a dog. Okay, that's pretty bad. One person locked the special needs kids in a closet. That's terrible. And then another person cyberbullied somebody. Okay, that's pretty bad. Okay. So, now I don't know what to expect. I'm thinking, Zendaya finna say that she fucked somebody. Because I'm like, what's the worst she could do? We already done heard this. We done heard some bad things. And I kid you not. And I'm guessing this movie is based on a book. You know? But they talk about the worst thing that Zendaya did. Or she says the worst thing that she did was almost do a mass school, she almost did a school shooting. I was gonna say, do you call it a mass shooting or a school shooting? But she almost did a school shooting. And she's like, they're all like taking it back, and they're like, huh. Like, Robert Pattinson doesn't even believe it. He's like, what the fuck? He's like, what's up with this girl? And girl that locked the guy in the closet, she's so taken aback. She's like, you what? Zandaya's like, yeah. I think because she felt like this was a safe place, safe space. She starts giving details. She's like, yeah, actually planned it. You know what I'm saying? Came to school with a gun and everything. And I almost shut up the school. So they don't really give much detail then, but essentially the whole movie's trajectory was going lovey. It just takes a sharp turn, bro. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, when they say unexpected turn, I wouldn't even say that's a turn. We crashed. That wasn't a turn. That was a crash, bro. Because after this, the whole vibe is off. The girl that locked old boy in the closet, she don't fuck with Zendaya no more. From this moment on, she's like, oh, you're a psycho. Like, and that whole thing too, like, everybody that kept finding out, they kept saying that, like, because essentially when Robert Pattinson like found this information out, he kept trying to ask other people, like, what would they do? And everybody kept saying they would call the police, and I'm just like, you guys are telling me you guys would call the police on somebody that almost committed a school shooting years later? Like, y'all would call the police on them? Like, what are they going? I was just like, how they going? What are the police gonna do? And then they gonna look at him and be like, bro, what do y'all want us to do? Like, I guess we could put them on the list, like, keep an eye on them, but up until this point, like, you could tell it's not even in Zendaya's character to be on some type of shit like that. But essentially, bro, once Robert Pattinson finds out, he's unnerved, bro. And even after, because I think, I didn't find this out, I noticed this from Fish and Jelly. They even mentioned how, like, once this information comes out, she gets physically ill. So, like, this is such a traumatic thing for her that it affects her anxiously, like, physically, like, this whole thing unnerves her so bad. You know what I mean? So she's like kind of just looking to Robert like, hey, like, I know I said I did that and stuff, but like, you don't hate me, right? Like, you still fuck with me, right? And shit. And like, at first, it seemed like he was pretty confident, you know, like, girl, yeah, I love you. But I think the more information he found out about it, he just kept imagining like, dang, like, so this whole time I was fucking with a school shooter? Like, that's literally what he, like, and that's not meant to be funny, but that's literally how he starts behaving. He's like, he just starts treating her like a school shooter. Like she went through with it. Which, I guess morally, that's the situation that we're in. Like, if someone tells you they're about to kill somebody, right? Do you treat them like they killed somebody because they told you they were about to? Or do you at least appreciate and respect them for telling you, like, yeah, I was about to do it, but I didn't do it, you know? I think it's just a situation because, like I said, if somebody's like, oh, I almost killed my kid, I'm gonna look at you kind of weird. But damn, that's what I'm saying, yeah. I don't know, bro. This movie, I'm telling you, it puts you in a weird position because it's like, essentially, it's kind of like they're making you side with a school shooter, but in reality, I think I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna be so honest, and because I was just telling Tiani this, I think, you know, it's certain double standards that just work, and I think this is one of those things that is like, the only reason I feel like this movie was presented, or it kind of like hits kind of good or resonates well, is because the person is a woman. I'll be honest. If Robert Pattinson's character was the one that said he was going to do the school shooting, I don't think the way that the movie could have went the same way. But because, and that sounds crazy, right? But because, you know, Zendaya is like, you know, she just doesn't look like she would do it. She doesn't look like the type. But then we find out, you know, like I said, which, like I said, I feel like anybody that does a school shooting, you kind of can't excuse them. But essentially, they try to do that with Zendaya's character, and they kind of show us that, like, she was, you know, a loner. She got bullied at school. Even though the situation that they showed of her getting bullied was just one person bullying her on two different occasions, I guess, like I said, they set the playing field for that. She was, you know, that at that point in time, because she's super attractive in this stage, right? But I guess because she kept saying it, she's like, I was ugly. I guess she wasn't the best. She wasn't the most confident person at that age. So, you know, and then her dad was in the military, which we find out later. So she just had a lot of free time, alone time, and access to a rifle, you know. And then, essentially, yeah, she, you know, it's kind of like, you know, it's like little kids, you know, like, and I guess that's what I do like that the movie does present, is that, like, you know, certain people are easily influenced, and I guess that's just really what it was. She was just easily influenced by all the school shooters, you know, and then she just, I guess, just embodied the personality, which I feel like, honestly speaking, as a psych major, it's very possible. You know, when people, like, that's why I try my best not to too much watch true crime, too much, like, gory. I try not to get too, because, you know, the brain is not able to dictate what's real and what's fake. So if you're just always presenting it something, you're just always stimulating it, and you're always stimulating, like, for example, like, murder stuff, like killer shit. It's very possible that, like, you know what I'm saying, you could essentially embody that character, you know what I mean? Like, it won't be you, because you as a person, you're like, man, I would never do this. But imagine just consuming a whole bunch of content about serial killers. You might start trying to reason with them. You might start trying to see where you relate. You might be like, dang, like, he was bullied, I was bullied too, like, I could have been like this. Like, it's very easy, you know, like I said, psychologically, right? But that's why you gotta just be able to know yourself and be confident in yourself, you know? And then also, it goes into community, you know? It's about who you're around, you know? Which, that's what I'm saying. Let's just talk about it, bro. Where are you getting this? Where are you getting this at? You're not getting this nowhere else. You're not getting an excellent movie review with also character disposition, with also, you know, psychological, you know, realistic connections. Like, come on, y'all. Nobody doing it like me. I'm sorry. I just gotta pat myself on the back for that connection right there, because you learn something new every day, and I hope you guys learn something from me. Okay, so yeah, but, and mind you, I'm processing this now, you know what I'm saying, because it's making sense to me a little more, you know, because like I said, I don't feel like I can excuse a school shooter, but like I said, as a psych major, you do want to at least try to understand everybody and see where they're coming from. Even if you can't side with them, you want to at least try to hear them out, you know? But essentially, yeah, she embodies this character, and then coincidentally, a school shooting or a shooting happens at a mall. And one of the students that goes to school with her ends up passing away from the shooting. So that takes all the energy out of it. And You know, it's one of those things where like, cause I don't want to go on another tangent, but I just been I just been kind of like, just like I said, be confused by it too. But I think you just want to see where it hit her. The reality set in. You know, like I was really about to go and shoot up my school, and I was really about to take someone else's life. And I think the reality of like someone dying like hit her, because you know, naturally after something like that happens, the school goes on a, you know, they have to instill new programs. They have to teach you guys things, you know, put you guys on shooters and stuff. You know, basically put you guys, be aware. And during one of their meetings, or one of their, I guess you could say, their discussions, they're talking about school shooters and how school shooters are predominantly males. And because Zendaya's character is like, I was going to be a school shooter, she's done her own research. So she kind of feels triggered by that statement. It's like, hey, technically, actually, not all school shooters are male. Some school shooters are women, and there's actually more history, and there's more like data essentially that could prove this than other than that. So another student that hears her say that, he's like, I thought, you know, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, because at this point, I don't know where the movie's going. I'm gonna be so honest, because we're now, it goes, like I said, it goes from a real life love story to now we're knowing, okay, well, what happened to Zendaya and why did she almost want to shoot up a school? So now we're, like I said, it's like the 13 Reasons Why show. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing her high school experience and stuff. So I'm thinking, like I said, my brain is running 20 miles an hour at this point, trying to figure out what's going to happen next. I'm thinking, bro heard her and was able to see through, because, like I said, maybe, I'm gonna be honest, I'm saying this because I was watching the movie. But I'm thinking that when she had that conversation, I'm thinking that would have been so telling. Like, that to me would have been a sign that, like, why is she going so hard to try to prove that there are women school shooters? Okay, cool. There's male school shooters and there's women school shooters. But why are you trying so hard to prove that there's women school shooters? Are you a school shooter? My brain, I be so quick to put two and two together that I thought that that's what he did. So I'm thinking he's like, yeah, this is someone that could be a part of my cause. How wrong I was. He said, well, he was like, yes, this could be someone that could be part of my cause, but a positive cause. Because in actuality, he kind of pulls her to the side or tosses her after the meeting, and is like, oh, I seen how passionate you were in there, and it seems like you know a lot of information about guns. Would you like to join our anti-gun reform thing? And essentially, which is like, I guess what's the point of the movie, is like, if you just hear one part of the story or just hear one part, you don't know the whole thing. Of course you're going to come up with certain conclusions. So essentially, because the bridesmaid never let Zendaya really go into detail about her upbringing and why she even led to this, she never got to the point where there was a point where Zendaya, she had a pivot, and instead of her being school shooter, now she's school protector. Now she's advocating, you know, she's not for guns anymore, to the point where her dad's rifle that she was going to use to shoot up the school, she throws it away. So it's like, oh, well, you know, I guess not to say, in a sense, she kind of makes it for her sense, you know, not to use that terminology, you know, to my Christian viewers and my Christian listeners, but she kind of amends for her, you know, her past wrongings, you know what I'm saying? She, you know what I'm saying? She learns the errors of her ways, you know, she realizes that she was wrong for doing that. She learns how bad guns are, how dangerous they are. That's the only reason that I feel like the movie even allows us to even, you know, resonate with her, to give her a little bit of humanity. They show that, like, yeah, she was wrong, but she realizes how wrong she was. She tried to do right, and she was, bro, to the point where, like I said, she almost got arrested for like advocating against guns, like to the point. That's what I'm saying. But, and I guess that's a side effect, you know, in a sense of like, man, I just made another point, because essentially that's why she's going so hard. She's trying to make up for the fact that she did what she did. That too, the reason that she's deaf, when she was practicing shooting the gun, she shot it too close to her ear, pop, her ear lost damage. So the whole time, right, she told Robert Pattinson that she was born deaf, but in reality, she's deaf because she almost did something bad. So she's basically reminded every day of her mistake. So in reality, you know, certain people, they do bad stuff, but they're able to forget it. She really never really is able to forget it, but she moves like she does. So if anything, you gotta give her some credit. Like, not give her credit, but when they say, what's the right punishment? Sometimes punishment is the reminder of what you did. That's a good punishment then. Like, if she's always going to be reminded that, like, yeah, I almost shot up the school because she thinks of her ear, then, hey, what more are you going to want from her? And like I said, she did a positive thing for society. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was rehabilitated. Like, that's really what you want from jail. She got rehabilitated. She knows the error of her ways, and she's not going to ever do no stuff like that. And that's what I feel like them showing us her upbringing really shows. And in that same essence, though, right? That's why her friend, the bridesmaid, was going so hard. Because she knows she never got, she never atoned for her sin. She never really, like, made amends, you know what I'm saying? So essentially, she probably is still in that same mindset that she was when she was a kid. So now she in a sense, she gotta, like, go hard, you know what I'm saying? Like, to remove some of the guilt from her, she has to be so judgmental of Zendaya, because it's like, Zendaya went through the fire. She went through her demons. She fought it. And that's why she's able to be in the place that she is. But you never really dealt with your demons. So when someone else has demons, you're just like, ha ha ha, yeah, your demons are way worse than my demons, so fuck my demons, you're just a terrible person. Which is like, well, you're actually way worse, because she's way worse. To the point where this girl goes so hard to talk about some, man, I gotta ask my cousin if I can even go to your wedding. Because her cousin was involved in a shooting. Not a school shooting. Was just involved in a shooting. So her cousin's in a wheelchair. Come to find out, her and her cousin not been that close. So she just, I ain't gonna lie, this movie put the word performative in my brain so strong. Now, anytime I see people doing performative stuff, I just think of the drama. Because that's really what she was doing. It's like, it was selective outrage, Because essentially, like I said, I'm not going to sit here and give you guys the whole synopsis of the movie. I'm trying not to, because this movie was really good. But essentially, pretty much like I said, Robert Pattinson is learning about it, and he at first can't handle it, and then it gets to a point where it's low-key the day before the wedding, and I don't know, bro. I don't know, like I said, I ain't gonna lie. I told myself I was going to just say things how I want to say it on here. But, sometimes I just be worried because, like I said, I know some people are sensitive, but if you guys are sensitive, refer to the title screen. Refer to the disclaimer at the top. This is not real. This is all cap. All of this is... I'm AI. I don't even exist. I'm telling you guys, if you guys come up to me in person, I'm not going to know what you're talking about. The secret word of today's episode is orgasm. But yeah, I'm not going to know what you guys are talking about. So... what I was going to say is, he was being a bitch. I'm going to just call it a spade. Robert Pattinson's character was being a ho-ho. Because, in reality, like I said, if I'm this locked in with you, and you ain't show me no signs of that you might be on some school shooter shit, and then you done told me the story, I'm going to try to find a way to work it out. Like I said, the whole time, they're showing us that Zendaya can work stuff out. Granted, I guess the reason behind it is because she's not perfect, you know what I'm saying? But because of that, though, she has more understanding for people. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't just take people. She doesn't take everybody at face value, because she's like, look, y'all don't even know me. I have a history. I used to be kind of fucked up. So when she sees someone's fucked up, it just depends on the scenario. Because I feel like her getting mad at the DJ was warranted. Like, I don't want no crack. I don't want no heroin head DJing at my freaking show at my wedding. And then during the rehearsal, the DJ was freaking playing her own music. But mind y'all, this nigga Robert Pattinson was over there. He was looking over there looking sick, right? Because he's like, do we really gotta fire her? Do we really gotta fire her? Prior to that moment, guess what this nigga done did? This nigga works at a museum, right? Like I said, I didn't give you guys all the details. I'm sorry. But he works at a museum. His co-worker is a woman. Oh my gosh. This right here is why I feel so bad for even doing what I did at my job, because HR. Anytime I just think about messing with girls at my job, I just think, it could just go wrong, and then it could just lead to, it's just so much he say, she say, and I feel like when you're in a position at work, it's just so, you just gotta be careful. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like at my job, I was in a position of power, and I know better. And like I said, I don't usually talk to girls at my job, but I tried, and it didn't go good. And I say that to say that, like, I'm so glad it didn't go how this one went, because this one was, like, stupid. Like, this is like a nigga's worst nightmare with dealing with a female coworker. Because essentially, right, even the conversation was just, you can't have this type of conversation at work, but you could tell that they're cool. They're close. So, essentially, Robert Patterson, he's like, okay, fuck it. I'm gonna just, do the same thing that they did with me, with my coworker. Hey, coworker, what's the worst thing you ever did? She's like, what's the worst thing I ever did? Well, shit, cheated on my man, and he was actually a good guy, and I cheated on him with a nigga that was ain't shit and that was married. And essentially, it's like, yeah, and she made a point to say, yeah, the sex was better, all this good stuff. They do that. I'm telling you, all this detail matters, right? Because essentially, oh my gosh, my Mario thing is damaged? How? I mean, to be honest, it's not the end of the world, because I'm still gonna use you. You still gonna be, what? Just a little crack right here, no big deal. But essentially, she's like, yeah, but she cheated on her nigga because he was boring, for real, and the sex was boring. So she wanted to get with a nigga that was gonna be more exciting. Which, like I said to my guys out there, I'm not saying, because you shouldn't be exciting to not, to not keep your girl bored, but try to have some excitement, because essentially your girl could get bored and she might fuck a nigga that's more exciting than you. So try to keep it spicy to my niggas out there in relationships, because you know what I'm saying. Because essentially he tells her, he's like, oh, okay, well, that is terrible, and she's like, but that's not the worst thing. But because he knows, like I said, I'm telling you, it's like there's so many levels to like terrible shit you could do in the world, that when they bring up school shooting, you're like, oh shit, you can do stuff like that. I forgot. Yeah, put that on the list too. Like, you forget how bad people could be. So when he's talking to her and he's like, oh, like, you cheated, but that's not the worst. She's like, what's worse than cheating? He's like, well, let me tell you. Imagine your boyfriend told you that he went to the school shooting. What would you do? She was like, well, I wouldn't fuck with this nigga. I would have called the police. So essentially, that's what fucks him up, right? Because he's like, oh my God. Every time I think about what I should do, everybody's essentially telling me that they would not fuck with somebody that was in a position like this, but they don't know her. And it's like, duh. That's all you need, bro. You know her. They don't know her. Granted, they're going to judge. Because they're going to judge the fuck out of you. I'm just letting you know. If you wife up a serial killer, they're going to judge you. But if you somehow find a way that you humanize with her and reason with her, that's all you need. But that was not enough for Robert Patterson, because clearly he needed to be able to believe that everybody else could accept her the way that he could accept her. Because when he found out his coworker was like, I wouldn't fuck with my nigga if he was doing it, that's what I was trying to say, the double standards. I think it's because it's a nigga. Because that's scary. It's like, because it's like the whole bear and the man situation. It's like, if I was in the woods with a bear or a man, who would I fuck with? The bear. And I don't blame him, because especially white males, they're unpredictable and they're scary. So she's probably just thinking to herself, I know my nigga, but if this nigga was positive school shooter, imagine what he could do to me. That's what she's thinking. And the same thing that Robert Patterson went through is what she's going through. The difference is, like I said, Robert Patterson, you got more nuance. You got more you got more of a story. It makes more sense. You know what I'm saying? But essentially, bro, nigga, because even how this even happens, I was like, you could tell that. I mean, I don't know, right? Because the movie doesn't give us too much background on Robert Patterson and the coworker, but either way, there must have been some type of sexual tension prior, because, bro, this nigga Robert Patterson is in his office breaking down, right? She comes up to Robert Patterson to consult him, to console him, give him some support. I don't know how he read this so freaking wrong, because like I said, I would just, in my head, I'm just like, nigga, I'm at work. That would be ringing through my head so much that I wouldn't even be able to attempt this. But essentially, he's crying. I want to give so much detail to my listeners so you guys can see it, so you guys can see this, right? Imagine Robert Pattinson, he's on a desk. He's crying. He's over there tearing up. He's fucked up. He's over there like, oh my gosh, I'm so sad. My name is Robert Pattinson. I'm Batman. I'm so sad. I'm so sad. My coworker comes up to me. The coworker comes up. She gives him a hug. You know what I'm saying? She's rubbing his back. He starts crying on, like, he faces her now. Now he's crying on her chest. Oh my God, I'm so sad. I'm so sad. But like, he's like gripping her. And I'm like, even as I'm watching, I'm like, yeah, gang, I ain't gonna lie. Nigga, you finna get married, my nigga. Stop. Nigga, this nigga works his way up, y'all. He's still crying. Works his way up to her lips, and they start making out. But wait, there's more. This girl must have been Little Caesars because she was hot and ready. This nigga, Robert Pattinson, I'm talking about they kissing furiously. Kissing. He rips off her top. Her titties don't come out, but essentially her shirt is destroyed, is exposed. This girl assumes the position. No questions asked. She assumes the doggy style position. I ain't gonna lie. I said, I need me one like that. Because she was ready. Man, he pulls off her shirt. She turns over, bends over, picks up her skirt. We see the booty cheek. And that's when he's like, what the fuck am I doing? Bro, I kid you not. I was just like, what is wrong with you? It's like, it's like, guys, why do we do this to ourselves, y'all? Because, man, you know, and I think that's why the movie like resonated with me so much, because I never cheated on my ex-girlfriend, right? But I did some things that I'm not proud of. You know what I'm saying? So when I seen that, it made me think of myself. I was like, damn, bro. Are we just all like this, bro? We just all fuck ups, bro. When it's just like, we have a good girl. We just always wait till we just always gotta fuck it up before we fix it. Because I don't know why he had to go to this extent. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he could have just, I don't know. Because like I said, I'm like, in reality, bro, if you guys seen the movie, bro, this nigga was ready to fuck her, bro. He was ready to fuck this girl, bro. And she was ready to get fucked. Bro. Mind you, she has a nigga. The whole conversation was around the fact that she had a nigga. But she was ready to let this nigga Robert Pattinson smash, bro. Smash, like, man. And that's why I ain't gonna lie. I'm not trying to say Zendaya's wrong, because in reality, I did want them to have a happy ending. But this is why I can't fuck with a cheater. I ain't gonna lie. Because it's one thing to hear about it, but when I was seeing it, I was like, could you imagine your girl doing that, bro? And then you feel me? Like, she just with you the next day like nothing happened. Bro. That's why you gotta, I ain't gonna lie. When they say ignorance is bliss, that's what they mean. Sometimes it's just better to not know. What they say, I don't wanna know. If you're playing me, keep it on the low. 'Cause my heart can't take it anymore. I don't blame him. Because I don't think I'd be able to take it, bro. Because essentially, right, now he's a mess. I'm not gonna say you cheated on. You kissed another woman, bro. You cheated, bro. And it's not like you cheated on your girlfriend, bro. You about to get married, my nigga. Your fiance? Zendaya? I mean, the coworker was bad. I'm not gonna sit here and say the coworker was ugly. She wasn't ugly. But you about to marry Zendaya. Is that not enough? That's what I'm saying. Or we just that, guys. We gotta stop being greedy. This is the greed they talk about in the Bible. Be satisfied. Be grateful. Because what are you talking about, bruh? But yeah, so now we're at the moment where she's about to fire the DJ because the DJ is doing some goofy shit, you know what I'm saying, heroin shit at the wedding. But Robert Pattinson is being a punk, you know what I'm saying? And he's not really like, he's like, yeah, we might have seen, because essentially they're like, oh, hey, can we put you to the side real quick? Yeah, we wanna talk about something. The other day we was out walking, were you smoking some heroin? And she's like, no. She immediately denies it. So Zendaya's like, look, you don't gotta deny it. At least if you be honest with us, we could work something out. The DJ is like, man, you guys are being weird. I don't do no heroin. Fuck that. And then just started getting disrespectful and was like, you know what, Zendaya? You're a cunt. And then Zendaya's like, what the fuck? And Robert Pattinson, because he just cheated, he's like, oh my god, what is wrong with me? I'm such a terrible person. the DJ's like, yeah, bro, you're a bitch because you got your girl over here trying to fire me, and you right here, you not doing nothing. Fuck on my face. So yes, they eventually fire her. Eventually, the wedding starts. So we're all like, oh, good, everything's cool. Guess who shows up to the wedding? The fucking coworker. And guess who she comes with? Her boyfriend. So, you know, weddings are gonna wed. Essentially, the wedding keeps going on, and then Zendaya goes to the bathroom. Well, cause I'm like, what happened? I don't know if this happens before or after, but nah, yeah. So before this though, the bridesmaid or the maid of honor, you know, like I said, she don't really fuck with Zendaya no more, but she just want to be petty. So she's like, I'm gonna say my speech still. So she kind of says her speech in a sarcastic manner, like, you know, Zendaya's so amazing, she's so empathetic, you know what I mean? Like she was throwing in jokes, like she was throwing in jabs and then making it seem like it was a joke. But like I said, the audience, we were able to see through it, and essentially it was just a terrible whole speech and stuff. And then, what you call it? Yeah. So then after that, right? Zendaya goes to the bathroom, and then the coworker is outside the bathroom. I don't know if she was talking. We never really find out if she was talking to the maid of honor, but essentially the coworker is outside the bathroom talking about a school shooting. So Zendaya immediately thinks, because like I said, only her, Robert Pattinson, the maid of honor, and the man of honor know anything about that conversation. So for someone to be talking about a school shooting at a wedding, I ain't gonna lie, this seemed kind of like, it was like, what the fuck? I ain't gonna lie. I'm kind of with her. I'm like, who is she talking to? Like, how does she even know this? And like I said, granted, it's your nigga's fault. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, double homicide, because it's like, not only, you know, when it's like, it's only three of us that know the secret. So if anybody else knows, I know who should know. It's one of those situations where it's like, dang, not only did the person that say the secret was supposed to be the keeper of the secret, he did more than just fucking break the secret. So essentially, Zendaya comes out the bathroom and is like, and that's why I like Zendaya, I ain't gonna lie. That's what I'm saying. I need me a woman like that. She on that. She like, who are you talking to? The coworker like, nobody? She's like, what were we talking about then? Nothing. She's like, okay. And the coworker's like, well, can I use the restroom? And she's like, oh, my bad. So the Zendaya like, hubby, come to the room. Calls Robert Pattinson. That bitch was talking about my school shooting shit, and I need to know. And she, like I said, because her and the maid of honor not getting along, she immediately thinks the maid of honor taught her. Granted, I don't blame her, but it's like, sis, calm down. Let's reason it. Let's be reasonable. No, it's her wedding day, and she do not have no time to be reasonable, because essentially she's like, Robert Pattinson, go call that bitch. Go bring her here, and we're gonna ask her who the fuck told her. I don't know why this couldn't wait till after the wedding, or at least a little later. But she clearly, but that's what I'm saying, yeah. It's a really triggering situation. Get it? Trigger. It's a real triggering situation for her, because she couldn't let it go. Because essentially, she pulls the girl inside, because Robert Pattinson's like, I don't want to go get her. I do not want to go get her. Which in reality, in hindsight, he probably should have went to go get her, so he could have debriefed her and probably got her like, hey, don't go in there and do what you're about to do. Because essentially, when she comes in there, she sees Robert Pattinson and Zendaya, so she's like, oh, okay. They must already know. No, sis. But didn't waste no time. Well, he kissed me first, and it was about to lead to nowhere, but it didn't lead to nowhere, and it doesn't even mean anything. And she's like, Zendaya's like, what the fuck? What you mean kiss? I'm talking about what the fuck you was talking about. And then Robert Pattinson's like, yeah. So essentially, now they go back to the wedding. Now they go back with the information of now that, hey, Zendaya now knows her nigga, her fresh new husband, cheated on her yesterday with the coworker, and now the coworker is here with her husband, with her boyfriend, and it's just awkward now. So now they want to continue the wedding. The dad gives a speech, and that's where we kind of get more exposition about who Zendaya is, what she does, and then the man of honor is like, oh, so does the bride want to say anything about the husband? Nigga, if you knew what I really want to say, she's like, nope. She's trying to hold her tears, and man, I hate seeing Zendaya sad, bro. Oh man, that shit hurt. That shit was hurting me. But she's like, yeah, I'm cool. I don't know how drunk he got, but apparently, essentially, this nigga's wasted at this point, because he starts doing his speech, and everything that him and the man of honor said that he shouldn't say on the speech, he says. But I can't even. It's really nobody but his fault, because he was so hurt over the freaking fact that Zendaya might have, or I'm not saying might have, because she did say she did it. She almost shot up a school. He was so hurt by that in his original speech, all the nice things that he said about her, he started deleting them, like a weirdo. That's what I'm saying, man. You could tell. I don't know, bro. Like, even, like, that's how you know I'm a feminist, because even this movie, you could tell it was, like, pro-guy, because they're making it seem like he was just going through so much, bro. Like, nigga, either be with her or don't. Like, I don't think the choice was... It's not that hard to decide. Has she been treating you like someone that this could be a school shooter, or has she been treating you someone like that that's rehabilitated? She's clearly been treating you like someone that's rehabilitated. She's very easygoing, even with your ass. Like, but essentially, nigga switches up on her, and like literally through the speech, she's so empathetic, takes it off. She's so nice, takes it off. So he doesn't even have a speech for real. So of course, what he's going to have to be forced to say is the original depiction, especially because you've probably been practicing, probably been reading it. So everything he said he wasn't gonna say, he ends up saying it. You know, her laugh is repulsive, but in a cute way. Doesn't come off good. We have amazing sex. Don't even know why you said that. That's what I was like. Even for a drunk nigga, he was just doing the most. But essentially, once he starts crashing out, everybody in the audience was like, well, this is clearly a train wreck. Let's just try to scrape what left we can of this wedding and go about our day. He's like, man, why is everybody talking? Shut up. So, and I don't know why, but somehow, some way, he mentions how when he kissed the coworker, that it didn't mean anything. So the coworker's nigga's like, what buddy on? What are you talking about? And she's like, man, which is sad, because I don't want to, fuck it, I'm going to say how it came in my head. You know, when a girl get caught, they don't want to be on it. So, essentially, she made it seem like Robert Pattinson's character essayed her. Because that's what she said, you know, I'll be honest. Because I guess when he was pressing her nigga was pressing her, she didn't want to say, well, I was going with it too. Because naturally, if you say that she was going with it too, it's like, bitch, you was going to fuck this nigga? Dang, bro, that's what I'm saying. Oh, man, that's so scary. That's so scary, bro. That's why I make sure I don't do any dirt no more, because when you find out somebody that you really like is doing dirt, but you don't even know the extent of the dirt, you can't even really be at peace with yourself, bro. Because just imagine that she was about to get crushed, and now she's telling you he took advantage of me, sis. We seen the footage. I'm just kidding. I know. Technically speaking, we wouldn't have seen it, but we'd have to take her word for it. And like I said, I'm a feminist, so I would have believed her. Damn, bro. I would have fucking believed her, bro. But naturally, but that's what I'm saying. You can believe him, but I guess that's the thing about not crashing out on her behalf. You gotta do it legally, I guess, you know? Because if you beat a nigga ass and it comes out to find out that she was going with it, you look kind of stupid. Because, I mean, he doesn't look stupid because, like I said, they don't ever find out what really happened. But essentially, he's like, they're talking and bickering, and he's like, Robert Pattinson's like, can y'all shut up? And that nigga's like, bro, fuck all that then. Since she just told me what she told me, I'm finna come press you then. So what'd you do to her? And I ain't gonna lie, he headbutted the fuck out of Robert Pattinson and broke that nigga nose. He has 2 black eyes, but when we go back to the scene where they're fighting, it doesn't look like the guy punched him. It looks like he just headbutts him, and then you know, the girl is like, hey, chill. And he's like, man, what do you expect me to do? The nigga, my girl just said he sexual assaulted her. I gotta do something. Which, like I said, any real nigga would do that, respectfully. So then, yeah. So Robert Pattinson, like I said, we don't see the, you know what I'm saying, the conclusion of the wedding, but the wedding concludes, and Zendaya's nowhere to be found. Robert Pattinson goes back home. I don't know why. It felt emptier. I was so convinced that she moved out already, but that's how I know. I was like, you know, tripping. Because it's the same night. Robert Pattinson comes home. He accesses the damages, checking media takeout. Pictures of me drunk walking out with a bitch, but it's blurry enough to get the fake out. He accesses the damages, and he's trying to call her, and call her. It doesn't work. Early in the movie, they mentioned how, like, after their wedding, they should go to this burger place because, you know, like the Grammys, you know, let's just go eat a food, you know what I'm saying? Like, just some cute shit, you know what I'm saying? So he kind of was like, man, I think I should go to that burger spot. I don't think he knew that she was going to be there, but I think he went there hoping that, like, maybe, please, she goes. And like I said, even though Robert Pattinson is wrong in my eyes, because at this point, like I said, I feel like, I'm going to be honest, I wasn't on his side anymore. I was with him. I was so with him till he kissed the coworker, because I was just like, bro, you that easy, bro? I know the flesh is, you know what I'm saying? It's hard. It's hard to resist temptation, but that wasn't even temptation. You went after that, bro. Like you were crying on her and you kissed her, my nigga. Like come on, fool. I couldn't. You know what I'm saying? Respectfully, like fuck with him too much after that. But you know, I still wanted my nigga. I wanted her to have a happy ending. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't feel like that was fair to her. I feel like she was really trying her best to like put her best foot forward. You know, came out being honest and really was like she took the abuse that y'all was giving her. All you have to do is be faithful, my nigga. All you have to do is make it to the wedding day. Isn't that hard? But nah. Now that he did what he did, he's seen how she must feel, which just sucks, right? Like, man, right? Fuck. Because I'm like I said, I relate to all this shit too, you know? It's essentially. But yeah, you know, you don't know how it feels till you're the one on the receiving end of it. And now that he's the one that has done wrong and he wants to hide it, he's coming up with all these excuses. You know, it didn't mean anything. I don't care about it. But it's like, come on, fool. Just like how Zendaya was coming up with all these excuses and you didn't give a fuck. You coming up with all these excuses and she don't give a fuck. So, you know, like I said, even though he's a bitch ass nigga for that, I still kind of wanted him to get the girl, and I'm kind of glad. I'm kind of glad. Shout out to Mercedes, man. I'm kind of glad that yeah, you know, essentially they go to the burger place and Zendaya, oh man, Zendaya's so beautiful, man. Because that's what I'm saying, like just seeing her in a wedding dress, I just wanted the best for her. I'll be honest, because I didn't want him to win, but I want her to win. So she comes through and then she orders her food and then she sits down at his table and then. There was something that they did earlier in the movie where they were like playing like a trick or like pretty much, right? She was like, because like I said, Robert Pattinson's character couldn't handle the fact that she was a school shooter so bad. So she was like, look, can we just start over then? Like, let's just reintroduce ourselves to each other, right? So then at the end of the movie, you know, she tries it again. Because at that point, he was like, and that's what I'm saying, right? Imagine you were so against her when you were innocent, right? You didn't want to start over. You thought she was being goofy. You was like, I don't want to do this. Who thought she was trying to be cute? Man, bro, I'm telling you, this nigga pissed me off so many times because there's so much. He has so much chances to like just make the relationship good, like cool. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like it's before you even knew her, and in the last 2 years that you knew her, she wasn't on no school shooter shit. Let's just move on. Let's have a clean slate. But he just couldn't let it go. So he cheats on her, and now they're at the freaking diner, and then she's like trying to do it again. She's like, oh, hey, do you live around here? Immediately, because now he's fucked up. He's like, yeah, I actually live 2 blocks away. You know, I come here often. And she's like, okay, well, my name is Emma, by the way, bro. Man. And then, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I started crying. I ain't gonna lie. It was just so beautiful, bro, because it's like, you know, granted, I don't feel like cheaters should get. I don't. Like I said, I don't fuck with cheaters, bro. I don't think niggas. Because like I said, I've never cheated, so I'm like, I don't feel like it's that hard. I don't feel like it's that hard to like just be like, okay, I want somebody else. I'm gonna go pursue that other person. I'm gonna leave the person that I'm with alone to go do that. I've never had no issue doing that. I mean, it is fucked up. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's low key. It's fucked up, but. It's way more. The person appreciates you way more for being honest than you cheating on them. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know why he couldn't just like. I don't know, man. I don't know, but like I said, I just related to it because I just feel like everybody deserves a second chance and everybody be trying. And you know, we're all human. You know, nobody's perfect. You know, everybody has a past, but depending on it, and then if it's something I feel like you could work out, make the relationship work. But if it's too crazy, don't make the relationship work. Like I said, me personally, I don't think he fucked up too far for me. You don't kiss your coworker, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's weird. Like before your wedding, it's just the whole thing around it. But yes, I give that movie a 3 out of 5. I give just to give a quick recap. Super Mario Galaxy 4 out of 5. I feel like it was on point, spot on. Had a little bit of weird stuff, but the drama I really enjoyed it. Like for me, it's probably top 5 movies of this year. But just overall movie, yeah. I thought sorry Mercedes, sorry. I thought you I thought you seen the movie, so that's why I didn't. Yeah, my bad. I did this. I did get the disclaimer. You came in at a bad time. But yeah, so yeah, this was definitely spoilers reviews for the drama. So if you guys, I definitely go recommend it. Like I said, I feel like it's for the lovers. Like if you actually have passion, like if you ever fallen in love with somebody and fallen out of love, this is the movie for you. And that's how I put it, because you could just see the passion, you could just see the love there, and that's what, like I said, Tom Holland, you better than me, gang, because there was too much chemistry going on there. I'd have been like, nigga, you want my girl? Yeah, oh God. But yes, so that was the movie for that. Sorry guys, I was reading a message. School. So that was Mario and the drama. And then I want to also tell you guys about the Invincible season 4. So if you guys don't know what Invincible is, it's essentially what would happen if Superman came to Earth, but he wasn't a good guy, and he was instead tasked with the goal of conquering Earth, and essentially, like with Superman, he ends up getting with somebody and he ends up falling in love with humans. So that's probably not really like a good explanation of it. Let me see if I get like just a quick synopsis, because Invincible's a good show, but I'm like, let me see what Invincible summarize. Okay, here it is. Invincible summary. Invincible follows Mark Grayson, a teenager who inherits superpowers from his Viltrumite father, Omni-Man. While learning to be a hero, Mark discovers his father brutally murdered the Guardians of the Globe to prepare Earth for a Viltrumite invasion. Mark refuses to join him, causing Omni-Man to flee. Episode 1, Season 4, Episode 1, Mark is already on timing, bruh. He's on timing, bro. And man, this what sucks. Like, with like too many episodes to go over. But essentially, I think the last episode that I watched, I gotta get some air because I could really go into that one easily. Oh no, see, that's what I'm saying. And that too. I don't know why they keep giving no homo. It's like they keep giving Mark, like, I don't even want to say it. But it's like they keep emphasizing on his butt, like in certain scenes. I'm just like, why y'all keep trying to, like, they'll have him like standing right here, and like they'll emphasize like the shape of it. I'm like, what the heck, bro? Like, most of the time they don't give characters, like guy characters, like the design is usually straight. So I'm like, I don't know why they make Mark character like have a booty. It's weird to me. And like I said, I'm not acknowledging it because I care. I'm acknowledging it because they do a good job at making their show to show it, y'all, on the TV show. Can say I'm wrong, whatever, but I know what I'm talking about. But essentially, in the first episode, we're kind of seeing that Mark has been through a lot since the fight with Conquest, and it's weighing on him heavily to the point where he low-key doesn't have restraint anymore. Like, now he's on some shit where he's like, if I'm going to save the Earth, I gotta save it with some absolute measures, because each issue we keep coming across is because we're doing it. But that's the thing, right? It's like the Batman issue. I was gonna say the Batman phenomenon, but I don't think it's a phenomenon. But you know how everybody's always mad at Batman, like, Batman, why don't you just kill Joker? You keep letting the Joker live. Bro, if you're justice, you gotta be justice. There gotta be some good to some bad. Granted, it's just one of those things where it's like, you just gotta have a line where you don't cross. For Batman, he doesn't cross the line of murder. He's not gonna kill anybody, but he's gonna beat the fuck out of you. You know what I'm saying? For Mark Grayson, I think he had that at first, but now he's getting to the point where he's like, bro, I'm the good guy, but I'm gonna have to take it there with you niggas, because we're getting to the point where it's just too many issues, and we keep coming to. It's like one of the things. It's like we keep having issues because we're not eradicating the source. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, bro, I'm tired of these problems keep coming back up, so I'm taking absolute measures. So the first episode, we kind of see different. I guess you could say they're setting the premise for the season, but because they show us the sequence, they show us the dinosaur guy. This guy kind of turned into a dinosaur. That kind of confuses me a little bit, because he's on Earth, and I thought he was the dinosaurs that the Viltrumites went against, but he looks like a different one. I was saying earlier I watched a whole bunch of theories. I haven't watched any theories about this season yet, so I don't know anything particular. Everything I'm just saying is what I'm guessing. But yeah, essentially, Mark is just going through it, and like this episode like really takes, I guess you could say, comes to fruition when the Sequits, this alien invader that is like a brain, it's like a brain octopus, and like they attach to humans, and if one gets on one person, they can control. They just need a host to be able to control the Sequits. So once they have one person, they can control everything. So the Sequits has been an issue from season 1, and I thought it was gonna be a bigger issue, but not with Mark. Mark was not gonna let that be an issue no more this season, because essentially the person that is or being controlled by the Sequits is an astronaut that, dang, I gotta give so much freaking background information. But essentially, the person that is doing the bad stuff, he doesn't want to be doing the bad stuff, but he's being controlled. And Mark knows this, but it's such a tough situation that he's in, because it's like, I could leave this guy alive and then this thing could get worse, or I could take him out. But I don't know if he really had to kill him. Like, because in my head I'm like, why didn't you just squish the Sequit? Like, I don't know. But essentially, bro, this nigga Mark Hulk what would you even say that? Like, when you like hit a nigga so hard, I don't know. He Falcon Punch, yeah. Falcon Punch! He Falcon punches this nigga and he explodes the nigga head. And the nigga just like, the nigga's head explodes. Like, bro, I ain't gonna lie. That's when I knew. I said, oh, wow. This season's gonna be a lot. And also as well too, Eve's powers ain't been working. But I don't know why I knew already. I could just tell. I said, she's pregnant. Oh, and that too. They're making it very apparent that they be fucking on this show. Alan the alien and his girlfriend, they're on the ship with freaking Nolan, Mark's dad, and they had to share a room at first, and they just fuck every night. And at first I was like, dang, I'm like, they fuck too much, but I'm like, in reality, I feel you, Alan. I ain't seen you in I don't know how many cause you know, space time. I don't know how many space time it's been since I've been in this coach, but I need to. And Alan has definitely missed her, and she's missed him too. But yeah, that was funny. And then, like I said, they're making it very apparent that everybody in the show is having sex, because even Mark's mom and dad are having his mom is having sex. They make it apparent to show that, to mention that. And I guess the whole thing of them saying that is to say that, like, yeah, Mark be doing it too, and Mark and Eve be having sex. But this is what I want to get at real quick, because it's starting to become, I ain't gonna lie, it's starting to become a pet peeve of mine. You know, it's starting to become like a what you call it, an ick of mine, I guess you could say. I'm tired of y'all acting surprised. Dead ass. Let's stop the games. Y'all be fucking and y'all be getting nutted in, and y'all be doing the nutted. I'm so confused with why y'all be so shocked when y'all be pregnant. Y'all ain't did no, what did they say? No. Dang, I hate when I don't know the scientific term. Y'all ain't did no preventive measures to stop the chance of having a kid. You ain't wear no condom. You wasn't on no birth control. You ain't take no plan B. You guys don't have any of these. No contraceptives. Y'all go through it having sex. He ejaculates inside of you, and you just what? What did you think was going to happen? And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes I get so passionate about these topics, right? Because I'll just be like, I'll be forgetting, you know, not everybody's that smart, you know what I mean? Not everybody be thinking, my bad, guys. I gotta get back to reality, because what are we talking about? What are we talking about? If you let a guy finish inside of you, one of them sperms is gonna try to find an egg. Sorry, sis. There's 1,000 swimmers. One of them is going to try to find an egg. And essentially, one of them found an egg. And Eve, you know, her power, which is so cool, right? What you call it? Adam Eve, you know what I'm saying? Because she works with atoms and stuff. Essentially, her powers are affected. And I guess you could tell, I guess, you know, like I said, because I'm scientific, I know how women's bodies work. I could tell that the fact that her powers were affected, I'm like, your body is giving energy or giving attention to something else. You know, when you learn your body's going to try to, if you're healthy, it's supposed to be working pretty nice. And essentially, she's like, there's nothing to be wrong with. Like, I don't know how she didn't think to do a pregnancy test earlier, but essentially, yeah, she finds out that she's pregnant. And she doesn't tell Mark, though. But she doesn't tell him because, I ain't gonna lie, Mark is going through a lot. Like, like I said, because of how long it's been since the last season, I forgot how close the actual events of the show are. You know what I'm saying? Like, Mark doesn't go to therapy. He doesn't really even talk to really anybody about the issues that he's going through. So it's just one of those things where it's like, since the conquest, since Omni-Man, bro, it's like he just kept getting blamed for any innocent lives being lost. And of course, he knows that a part of it a part of the responsibility does fall on him. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of the stuff because I don't think he actively killed anybody on purpose, but some situations he was involved in resulted in people dying. So he's like, you know, he just feels terrible. And, you know, humans, we're so judgmental. People are so judgmental, you know. Granted, you are half human, half Viltrumite, so you can, you know what I'm saying, you have a right to be judged, but pretty much nobody fucks with him for real. So, like, or let me not say nobody fucks with him. His family fucks with him, but society, like the regular mundane people, don't really fuck with him. So he's always getting dirty stares. He's always getting looked at kind of crazy. Like, people are kind of scared of him in reality, but I mean, I don't blame him. Like, bro, when that nigga punched Russ, the whole Guardians of the Globe was there, and they're all like, damn. And it's crazy because, you know, some of them are trying to, like, rationalize, like, yeah, like, I know he killed them, and I know that was a little bunch, but, like, we needed that. He needed to do that. But it's like, some of them are like, did he need to kill him? You know, because it's just like, you already going through a lot, Mark. The last thing you need to be doing is killing niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I look at it. But, you know, in that situation, I ain't gonna lie. At first, I was with him, but like I said, after proper thinking, I'm like, maybe we could have tried to find another way. But even Cecil said, I would do the same thing. But Cecil's the type of nigga to do shit like that because, you know, he don't really have a heart. You know what I'm saying? You don't feel for nothing. But like I said, I feel like Mark, at some of that, like, you're at a very sensitive, emotional state already. I don't think you should be putting yourself through more situations like this. But it's just one of those things where, like, the show is showing me he don't have no choice, bro. He don't have no choice. Things are just going to keep happening. And then they even show us a scene, I think it's episode 2, where they show us how when you turn a certain age at the Viltrumites, they low-key got to beat your ass. Your parents essentially fight you to the death, and if you kill them, you get to be an adult. If you don't kill them, I don't know, because Nolan's mom was freaking whooping his ass, like, bad, you feel me? And then after he won, or, because, like I said, he was about to die, the dad was like, chill, you're an adult now. The mom was like, I don't want to see any other of you ever again, and she leaves, and I'm like, oh, damn. And then after that, y'all, a freaking virus comes through, and then, so essentially, they show us what happens and why the Viltrumites end up getting to such a dwindling number. And I thought it was so obvious that, like, the person who did the virus had to be the guy that's part of the coalition against the Viltrumites, because it's like, bro, one, this was the nigga that was the traitor, right? This is the nigga that went against Argon, the guy that was ahead of the Viltrumites. Who else would want to go against the Viltrumites besides him? I don't know. But essentially, when Nolan found out that he had the Scourge virus, he was so surprised. And I was like, I would have probably been able to put 2 and 2 together that, like, oh, yeah, this nigga knows a lot about Viltrumites. He was the first one to go against us. And then all of a sudden, we had a virus that almost took us out. And now this nigga's in the picture. I don't know. It was pretty obvious to me. Like, especially if you guys wasn't able to find a suspect or, you know, anybody else, you guys didn't blame anybody, I would have been like, yeah, the nigga that betrayed us before, he probably betrayed us again and tried to take us out. Because that's what he said. He said, look, I thought if I took out the leader, y'all would change our ways. You know what I'm saying? But essentially, once he took out the leader, they doubled down. They said, oh, man, the nigga that died, he would have wanted us to, like, be on some shit like this. And I ain't gonna lie, that I think is more scary. Like, they took his death and, like, used it to fuel passion for, like, rage, and, like, granted, it allowed them to have the most strongest, I guess, you know, members, but the standards were just so high. Like, bro, there's a scene where they have the little kids, right, and they're doing the history lesson, the little kid it's told is like, hey, so what happened with this situation? And he puts his hand on her hand. He's like, answer correctly. You know, like be smart about your answer. Because essentially, if she answered it wrong, he would have killed her. And then guess what? I'm like, okay, cool. Whew, safe, right? The end of the lesson. He's like, oh yeah, so make sure tomorrow, guys, we're doing combat training. So make sure to bring a weapon because at least 2 of you guys would die. What? So, not only do I not have no choice but to participate in this, there's a chance I might die? Bro. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Being a Viltrumite is just a fight. You just gotta just fight to live, for real. So, like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, even, like, that's what I'm, man. That's how you know I'm really am an empathetic person because they did some, like, the Viltrumites essentially are unforgivable. Like, they're such terrible people. But when you see what happens to them after they get the virus, they somehow make you feel bad for these niggas. Like, even Alan says, he's like, did you just make me feel bad for you? Like, what the freak? But yeah, billions of Viltrumites died that day. Which is even more scary because, like, they had that many freaking Viltrumites? Like, bro, my guy. But essentially, whoa. How do I want to see how oh. I'm not trying to do that. I don't mind seeing my viewers. I just want to see, check, I don't know, because sometimes I'll be forgetting that I'm live, so when I see people watching, I'm like, is somebody actually watching, or is that a bot? But yeah, essentially, season 4 of Invincible, it's been on it, and there is, oh my gosh, hey, oh my gosh, but man, sorry guys, as you guys keep, man, life is lifing, and good things are going right now. But no, essentially I was gonna say there was another show that I'm not mistaken. Oh my gosh. Sheesh. Whew. Guys, I got the job. If you guys didn't know, last episode I told you guys that your boy got eliminated. My position got eliminated from Sex Off It, so I was pretty much finna just be focused on school for the next, because I graduate next month. I graduate May 18th. Guys, I graduate May 18th, bro. Whew. That podcast that week is gonna be a lot, bro. It's gonna be a lot. Because I was even thinking, I was like, man, I keep telling you guys, I'm like, I record on Thursdays, but part of me is thinking I might have to try to find another day to record because life is life, and I want to make sure that I fulfill all my responsibilities, and this is my responsibility, and I feel like I owe it to you guys. You know, y'all be listening to my podcast, so it's only right I drop it every week. You know what I mean? I love y'all. But yeah, essentially, your boy, was going to just, I was just putting myself out there type stuff, and I was just going to see, like, okay, like, let's just see what I could do, if I could have, like, if I just have anything, fuck it with your boy. I go to school for psychology, so I was really hoping for something in psychology, and Allah being so amazing, I actually got an email from a job. I'm not going to say it because, like I said, y'all know I don't talk about work, so now that I have a new job, I can't talk about it. Sorry, not sorry, but just know I do have work now, you feel me? Your boy is no longer unemployed, even though it's only a week. Can you believe that? That's the real flex. Sorry to my listeners, because y'all not seeing my actions, but I'm doing a little add a little sound effect. You feel me? That's the real flex. I was only unemployed for 1 week, nigga. Got a job the next week, nigga. Do your research. Do your homework on being a good candidate. Do your homework on updating that resume. Do your homework on knowing how to apply. Do your homework on knowing how to show up for an interview. Do your homework on smelling your best, dressing your best, and performing your best. Do your homework on K stacks the P. Because, hey, I was nervous. I ain't gonna lie. I was scared. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. You know what? Because what else do we really got on today's topic list? Because I might just end this. I might end it right here, y'all. Just end it with the story. Because, about like what happened with my old job and stuff. And why I feel like it even happened. Yeah, man. You know what? honestly, because I have a lot of respect for that person, and I know the last time I told a story on here, the person thought that I was talking shit about him. So I know me saying this. Well, honestly, I don't have to say the person's name. I don't have to say the name. I don't have to even. They'll know I'm talking about them, but I'm not gonna give no names. So let's see, because all I really have, like I said, I told you guys about the wedding. Let's do a little weekly recap. So before we get into anything, so that right there, I just told you guys about the Invincible new season. Definitely go watch it. Definitely let me know and come back to the podcast. Like, bro, y'all know y'all could comment on Spotify, right? Like, talk to me, talk to y'all boy. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what y'all be thinking about the episodes. If you want, you don't have to because I am sensitive. So if you say something mean, it might hurt my feelings. But essentially on Friday, it was what you call it? It was a Good Friday last Friday. So shout out to the Christians. And then what you call it? I was supposed to go. It was funny. I was supposed to go on a hike with my twin Donovan. Shout out to my twin Donovan. But he just got a new position, so we weren't able to go to the gym anymore. So we weren't able to go to the hike. So I just ended up going to the gym. After the gym, I made a TikTok movie review. After the review, I went to the home, and then because like I said, I have no job no more. I was able to go to the movie on Friday early. Right after I left the gym, came home and I went to the movies. That right there was amazing. Like I ain't gonna lie. I could get used to this unemployed shit. You know, like having the freedom to just do whatever you want. The only issue is, how do y'all make money? What do y'all be doing? Like, how do y'all eat? How do y'all live with no income and not doing nothing? Like, it was cool for that week because I was just, like I said, all the stuff that I felt like I didn't have no time to do, I was able to have time for. But I was like bored. Even playing the game, I was like, dang. I usually be like, dang, I wish I had more time to play the game. A nigga had more time to play the game and didn't use that time to play the game. I use that time to be productive, you feel me? Because I'm a productive ass nigga. But yeah, essentially, on Friday, I went to go see, I went to go see the movie, The Drama. After the movie, I went to go to Ramen Yamadea. So shout out to Ramen Yamadea. That is my ramen spot. They are in Redondo. They're in South Bay. But tell them that Kadu sent you. You feel me? They make some good ass ramen. And mind you, if you know anything about ramen, right? If you know anything about Japanese culture, they really fuck with pork. And if you know anything about me, I'm Muslim. So I don't know when they did it, but essentially they put chicken. You know what I'm saying? Like they have a whole noodle that's just straight chicken broth, no pork. So big shout out to them. Like I said, I feel like restaurants don't feel like, I don't know. Restaurants don't feel like they have to do that. Like, I don't know why it's annoying sometimes, I ain't gonna lie, that people assume that everybody eats pork. I think it's okay to assume that everybody might eat meat, but I don't know, because I guess I can't really fault them, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, if that's your restaurant and if that's your lane of work, you're going to be on that. You're going to make pork items, that's what you want. But like I said, I just feel like, think about the niggas that don't eat pork, you know? If anything, yeah, but I don't like vegetarian shit either, because that's what I'm saying. Like, if the alternate to no pork is vegan, nah, I don't know. I'm not fucking with it either. Give me some beef. Give me some chicken. Give me some shrimp. You know what I'm saying? Get some seafood in there. But sorry to my seafood, you know, people that's allergic to seafood, you know. But yeah, so essentially just went to get my ramen, went to go see the movie, The Drama, and then I came home and had a good Friday. Saturday, this was on me, couldn't wait. So I originally was going to go to the Crenshaw Mile, but shout out to my nigga, the Boss Man, and shout out to my nigga Rucci, shout out to my nigga Banjo, shout out to my nigga Cinco. They hit me up because, like I said, y'all know me, I love to work out, so I love the homies. So work out and the homies in one, I couldn't say no to that. So I ain't gonna lie, I said I guess we just have to go to this Crenshaw Mile the next year, and it was only just a mile, which is so. I'm so blessed, bro. Just to think, last year, the most physical thing I was doing with my legs, I guess you could say, was biking. And like outside of biking was a hike. And look at me now, I'm running marathons. Look at me now, I'm talking about it was only a mile. Like, nigga, that's a mile. Most people can't even run a mile. Most people can't even run. So, my apologies. It's just where I'm at now. I'm just like, wow, I'm so grateful, so proud of myself. But yeah, essentially, It was only the mile, so I was like, you know what? I think I could miss this, but my nigga Donovan still went. Shout out to my nigga Donovan. But yeah, I went to my nigga Boss Man. Sorry for the wait. I actually got a shirt from there too. Sorry for the wait. Event, and he had it essentially because I know I have a shirt, but I probably put it in my shirt section. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, sorry for the wait because my brother Boss Man, which is, I ain't gonna lie, I don't want to necessarily use him as like my stance to say this, but I'll just put it like this. For my listeners out there, you guys not gonna get to see this, but for the viewers, as you guys can see, 1, 2, 3, 6-pack, right? I feel like whatever body you want to get is all about the amount of effort and the energy you put into it. Usually, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, bigger people, I feel like they tend to have every excuse in the book, I'm gonna be honest, about why they can't lose weight, about why it's impossible, they don't have no time, they just can't do it. Well, Boss Man, my big bro Boss Man, he done proved all y'all wrong. And it's funny because, you know, and shout out to my nigga Tevin. That's what I'm saying. These are two gentlemen that essentially embraced their size, made it a part of their brand. And once they started losing weight, they said, yo, I ain't gonna lie, I'm finna distance myself from that too. Because they even realized it. They're like, yo, this fat nigga shit ain't it. And these are guys that were bigger too. So it's not like I'm saying this on some shit like, oh, I'm just talking shit about nobody. No, these are guys that used to be big too. And they started losing weight. They started saying, I'm liking this slimness. I like being able to see my girth. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's the situation with my niggas, but I'm just saying that to say that even bigger people, when they start the weight loss journey, are proud of themselves and are like, I'm never getting off of this. I'm never going to stop working out. If that's not a sign that you guys should start working out, I don't know what is. But essentially, he's now a part of his brand. Sorry for the wait. Sorry for the wait. Wait as in WEIGHT. You know, like wait. And that's a bar, bro. Because like I said, everybody, mama, man, let people tell it. People think I look like this. Always. This is 2 years in the making. 2 years in the making, cuz. 2 years in the making. I'm way worse. I used to be way worse. I used to be bald. I got hair now. I gotta move different. I gotta move smart. Recipes of Slip 400. You know? Vincent. I gotta be smart. I gotta be quick. They call me Caduce. I'm Cases, but they call me Caduce. You gotta be smarter than that. So essentially, the homies, my nigga Boss Man, he had held a Palos Verdes hike, and it was actually really player as fuck. We went to the Trump golf course, and that's what I was gonna say too, because I ain't gonna lie, you gotta have a lot of motion to have a golf course. I ain't gonna lie, because even in GTA 5, the golf course in Los Santos is expensive as fuck. So the fact that this nigga Trump got a golf course, I'm like, dang, bro, you got motion, you got money. Gotta add that to the fucking list. Buy myself a golf course in the future with my investments. Yes, and my golf course is gonna be open to the public. I'm gonna have private areas in the golf course, but I want, man, everybody pulling up to the golf course, man. We're golfing. Call me a golfer. Shout out to DJ Khaled. Man, shout out to DJ Khaled, man. That's what I'm saying. Nobody talks about the collaterals. Everybody talks about what happened to Drake and what happened to Kendrick. But nobody talks about what happened to DJ Khaled. He ain't never been the same since. But yeah, man. Went to the hike. We essentially did around 4 miles, you know, because we wasn't leaving there with nothing. After the hike, like I said, I just felt bad because I wasted $40 for the mile. But it wasn't really a waste because, like I said, I already got a medal and stuff. So I'm like, oh, okay, I kind of felt hurt. I'm not gonna lie. But hey, got a fucking shirt, nigga. Y'all don't understand. I might wear this today, to be honest. But on Thursdays, we wear orange. I didn't do a fit check yet, so I guess it's better late than never. As you guys can see, I got the happiest place on earth, the fake Disneyland shirt. I got my Adidas sweats on, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Adidas, shout out to Kanye West. And I got my They Killed Kenny Crocs on. from Crocs, as you guys can see. Orange, you feel me? Because on Thursdays, we wear orange. But yeah, I might switch the shirt. But then, yeah, essentially, after the hike, I headed home to eat some rice and beans. Took a nap. Then I headed to make my movie review for the day because I had to do the movie review for the drama. That's what I'm saying. Like, as you guys can see, if you go see my movie review compared to the actual spoiler review I did this now, I really, they're two different like things because I had to keep it short, cute, and sweet for the TikTok. But here I was able to really go into detail. So I hope you guys enjoyed this version of the review. And then I went to Total Wine to get some Don Julio because I was going to act a Julio. Headed back home where I got dressed. And then we got ready, and then we headed to the valley. I was a driver, so, you know, I ain't gonna lie. I only had like 2 shots in my system, but your boy was off. I was off of chocolate, and I was off of my wax pen. I was trying to landscape over there, but for one, I didn't get to drive, so my mom, because, you know, I don't think she did this on purpose, but she's so smart. Like, she put me at a disadvantage. Like it's like, how do I say? It's like a person like a samurai. You know, you took the samurai sword before he could even get his uniform on. It's like, dang, you put me at a bad position. I could make something work, but my utensils aren't here with me, so I gotta make do with what I have right here, essentially. So I was making do with what I had, and you know, it was still cool. I ain't gonna lie, that chocolate was bussin'. I was in there bussin', and then, you know, I was the driver, so turned up the whole car right there. And then on the way back, you know, at nighttime, got to turn on the In My Emotion. So we had some smooth jazz, some smooth, cool In My Feelings music playing. And I thought I had enough energy to go get some food after when I got home. No, sir. I got home. I tried to go get some food. Too tired. So ended up calling it a night. But 10 out of 10 day, like I said, 100 out of 10 day. Shout out to Bossman. Shout out to my nigga Ruchi. Shout out to my nigga Cinco. Shout out to my nigga Banjo. Shout out to Amira and her husband. Shout out to my mom. Shout out to my auntie. Shout out to my family, because I'm like, that way I could just say how to say one person in particular. But then on Sunday, bro, even with the little amount of liquor that I be drinking, it still be fucking me up. I ain't gonna lie. Like, that's one thing I will say. You know, you're gonna have to give it up. Like, when you start on this path of health, the liquor is not gonna work the same way. I'm gonna just be honest with y'all. Like, you gonna get drunk so fast, bro, and you gonna regret it every time. Like, every time I drink now, I tell myself, like, I don't even know why I'm doing this anymore. Because the next day, I just be feeling so flushed out. I be feeling so dehydrated. But I got that. Got some electrolytes in the fridge right now. Some Gatorade. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm saying that because, you know, when I get to it, I get to it. But then, you know, just usually, y'all know my Sundays go either they're a clean day or just a laundry day and a reset day. But it was just a laundry day because I ain't gonna lie, I was too tired to clean my room. So this Sunday is gonna be the environmental where I clean the whole room and everything. So essentially, my Sunday, nothing too interesting, nothing too crazy happened. But that's when I started watching the Invincible new season. Then on Monday, woke up late, but it was calculated. And this Monday reminded, I don't know why, because I'm pretty sure I've already told you guys this. Don't go to my gym late, because I don't know about, because I was just telling somebody too, shout out to her, about timing to go to the gym. She claims her gym be empty, but for some reason, bro, my gym has just, oh, that's so hard. I didn't know, like, it's like, maybe I'm tripping because I'm looking at it in my room, but it looks like a different shades of orange. Look like one is like salmon pink. Anyway, but yeah, so essentially, because I'm just almost putting muscle. Essentially, yeah, I gotta just only, even though I can sleep in now, I'm realizing it's just better for my availability and for just my workouts if I go to the gym early. Because, like I said, your boy is like, man, I gotta wake up early, I got a job. Woke up at fucking 7 something, bro. Started getting ready, and I realize now, like, whatever time I wake up, just assume that it's gonna take an hour for me to get to the gym. You know, because like I said, I just do a lot in the morning. I pray, I do my journal. You know, I do a lot of stuff to get ready for the day. So, you know, I take more time than I anticipate. So essentially, if I wake up at 6, assume I'm leaving the house by 7. But that's only if I don't get ready the day before. But like I said, I don't need to explain myself to y'all. I'm just telling y'all what it is. So then after, I get to the gym, like I said, it's freaking packed. freaking annoyed. I'm annoyed, but it's like I'm more annoyed with myself than the gym itself because it's not y'all fault. Y'all came here to work out. No, you know what I'm saying? I can't tell y'all to leave. You feel me? But it just does suck because I don't ask for much in the gym. I just be needing an area to, I just be needing a bench sometimes because I don't even use a bench every workout. I just be asking the pull-up bar and the dip bar. That's really all I need. And then the Stairmaster once a week. That's all I ask. You feel me? I don't ask for much. But essentially I get there and it was Stairmaster day and everybody and mama was on a Stairmaster to the point where I had to low-key steal the Stairmaster from somebody because I seen them eyeing the one I was going to get on. So I said, oh, fuck, now I got to be an asshole. Put my stuff there, did my stretch, and then did my thing. But like I said, it just reminded me, like, this is why I don't need to be coming to the gym late because everybody and mama's awake, the gym is busy, and then I just get so annoyed. And I usually try to do an hour and 10-minute workout. Epelema! Epelesa! Somebody just coughed. I started my best to do like an hour or 10 workout, so 10 minutes including the warm-up, and then an hour of the actual workout. I'm annoyed with the workout when it's like 48 minutes in, and I'm like, yeah, I'm finna just wrap it up right now. So I just wrapped it up. It was leg day, so like I said, the majority of my workout already was done. I was just kind of just doing extra stuff. And then I actually happened to take Malik to school this Monday. So between me and y'all, had to put our boys to the side because just because I be landscaping, I'm old. You youngest. You ain't been through nothing. You ain't did nothing to put yourself in a position where you think you should be using substances. And right now, we kind of think that boy be vaping. So I ain't gonna lie. I had to put my little nigga to the side. Like, hey, bro, man to man, brother to brother. I ain't accusing you, but if you doing anything, stop it right now. Mom is already onto you, and if mom is onto you, dad is gonna be onto you. And if I could tell you anything about my experiences with these two beautiful parents of ours, you don't want to see the other side of them when they don't trust you, when they don't, you know what I'm saying, when they're accusing you, when they're knowing that you're doing something you shouldn't be doing, and you're lying to them. You don't want to see that side of them because that's when when someone says, because parents love to say this, at least my parents, as much as I love you is as much as I will beat you. Yeah, like as much as the passion they have with loving you is the same passion they will have with like chastising you and like roasting you. Because when I first got caught for landscaping, y'all, bro, man, I put it like this: I hated home, nigga. I hated home, bro. Even just thinking about it, bro. That's what I'm saying. PTSD is real. PTSD is real. Like you go through something, it really does get etched into you. You feel me? But yeah, I had to have that little brotherly talk with my little bro because I'm like, hey, you see your big bro, I'm handling business. That's why, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't promoting that to you. Don't do it. I'm telling you, don't do it, bro. I don't want none of my brothers, my siblings to do that shit. So I was like, yeah, hey, drop them off at school, Shout out to Dominguez. Shout out to Casa de Ley. You feel me? Then I went home, made some breakfast. Made a good-ass breakfast. You know what I'm saying? Got on the phone with Tiani. And then, you know what I'm saying? Hit the bong. Ooh. I landscaped. And then I just, played Fortnite with my nigga Rucci and Devin for the rest of the day. And my nigga A3. Shout out to A3. Shout out to my nigga Devin, too. And then on Tuesday, it's funny because especially because, like I said, last week, right? So what happened, right? What happened, guys? Last week's podcast episode was actually the day of my interview. But unlike how I'm supposed to be moving, which is, like I said, that's why I apologize. I really do apologize for last week's episode. I was really unprepared. And because I was unprepared, the execution also suffered from that. So that's why I really apologize. And like I said, I appreciate you guys for still coming back and fuck with me. Because I'm not going to be on that no more. But essentially, your boy was just so excited because I had an interview Thursday. And I'm the type of person that when I have something, it's usually only interviews and school that do like work and school that put me in a position where like if I know there's an event or something coming up, I low-key can't rest. I can't do anything else for myself until that day is passed. So when it's something important like an interview, my body's just like I can't do anything else. So that Wednesday when I should have been preparing for the podcast, I was just so like I was just trying to get ready for the interview. I was just ready for it to be over. Not be over in a negative way, but just like, let's just get it over with because y'all don't know this, but another interview that I had, it kind of didn't go the best. So since then, I just been kind of like doubting myself. I'll be honest. So I was a little nervous, a little bit kind of just all over the place. And it showed because in, the lack in preparation that I had for the episode, ended up coming up with a low key. It was a good episode, but it was just a rush product. You know, I didn't get to have the video and everything, like I said, since I've been doing my podcast visually, I've been wanting to keep it like this. I just feel like it's way better. It's way more personal, you know. But essentially, yeah, didn't really do what I needed to do. Didn't do my due diligence. Didn't make my podcast topic list like I normally do, or what I'm trying to make a normal thing that I do. So essentially, I kind of just went on there and winged it, and you know, but it was all, you know what I'm saying, like I said, no offense, I was okay with lacking in the podcast because I was like, I know I'm about to be I'm about to go crazy in this interview type shit. So essentially, yeah, once I finished the pod, got dressed, and that boy was clean, spiffy, in a jiffy. Put on the top smell goods that I have in my repertoire, and then I essentially went to the interview. Interview went great, amazing. I love the area. You already know. If you know me, and you know anything about my fitness lifestyle, this job is going to be it's going to go hand in hand. Holy matrimony. So I get there, like I said, I'm already in love with the location. The drive was smooth. It was just one of those things where it's kind of like with my old job, I'm going to have to leave an hour ahead because you never know what could go on the streets. And it's one of those things where LA is just LA. For some reason, when we get people just be in the streets, they don't be having nowhere to go. So they be driving slow. But essentially, get there. Interview went great. Amazing. And they pretty much told me that, like, by Monday, we're going to let you know. So when Monday came and I didn't hear anything, I was shitting in my pants. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what the fuck? But I was playing it cool. Because I've come to terms with just knowing that, unlike how I felt with the first interview that went bad, if a job doesn't accept you, it's not a reflection of you per se. It just means that that's just not the job for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean that you're terrible. It doesn't mean that you're not deserving of the job. It just means that you could just put yourself out there. So that's pretty much what I was reminding myself that, like, if this doesn't go well, it's not the end of the world. Just keep, you know what I'm saying, keep trying. Keep updating that resume. Keep yourself fresh. You know, now you got more interview experience. You know what I'm saying? So just be ready to put yourself back out there, you know. And I was still applying to other places too, you know. Now I can stop everything, you know what I mean? But yeah, so essentially Monday I was scared. So Tuesday come around and I'm like, fuck, man. If they didn't tell me on Monday, then maybe they're gonna tell me today. Cause I'm like I said, I'm trying to tell myself like, bro, she meant Tuesday, cause like I said, no word Monday. Tuesday comes through. Even in my recap, I said, happy and blessed Tuesday. Happy, blessed, and confused Tuesday. It's a blessing because I'm alive, happy, and healthy. It's confusing because the place I applied to said I'd get a message by Monday, and it's Tuesday, and I didn't receive any email. I was feeling bad, but then I realized that if they don't hire me, it's not a representation of who I am, more a representation of that maybe I just wasn't a right fit, you know what I'm saying, type stuff. So, you know, and like I said, I know the type of person I am, that anywhere I go, I come bearing gifts. I come bearing hard work, ethic, morals. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that them hiring me is going to be a blessing for both of us in the sense of, like, you know, I got a job and I get a place, you know, I get money and stuff, and I could get, because like I said, I'm not telling you guys no details, I'm sorry, respectfully, but they're also getting a blessing too because they're getting someone who's going to help come change the culture, and they're going to get a hard worker, and like I said, I'm about to just help the company overall. No matter where I'm at, my goal is to improve it. You know what I'm saying? I never want to mess up anything. I always want to add value to stuff. So no matter where I go, I'm trying to go and add value. So that's why I was like, if they didn't take me, it is what it is. 'Cause I was like I said, I knew I was coming to add value. So that's why I was like, you know, I was at peace, you know. But I was still hurt because, you know, your boy, man, y'all don't know. I got so many stories. I got so much stories that I don't be telling you guys, bro. But it was just a time where I wasn't this ready, and it fucked me up so bad that I was working so hard to be so ready this time that any little thing that I felt like was giving a sign of like, damn, it might not be good, I was not even gonna lie, I was breaking down. And that's not right of me because, like I said, I need to learn to not be so controlled by emotions that they mess up my day. Because literally, literally after Saturday, I literally was like in limbo. Like, I couldn't really enjoy myself. Like, now we gotta celebrate. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know, because it's Loki 2 celebrations. I'm doing a celebration for now the job, you know, the end of the other job, you know, And we're going to also have to celebrate after graduation. So that's going to be the really big celebration. But now I got to do a mini celebration, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, bro, congratulations, bro. Because you're making shit happen. You're making shit work. So on Tuesday, though, I didn't know this. On Tuesday, I just ended up, just going to the gym, did my thing, and then went to Food for Less. Because shout out to Food for Less, too. I don't know why I never knew Food for Less was, like, this affordable with, like, groceries. Well, I guess I technically knew. I just was working at Target, so I was so always preempted to go to Target. But one thing I know this, I don't know why I didn't remember this, but I already knew this. Target specifically targets I guess you could say, the people that have more money to spend. That's why they kind of price their things a certain way, and that's why it's red. Walmart is for the calm spenders, the people that like to save money, so that's why it's blue. But places like Kroger, they do their thing. You know, it's like there's so many grocery stores. You just gotta find the one that's affordable and within your range. And I feel like Food for Less is the one that's in my range, because on Tuesday I essentially just went there to get some breakfast on, because now I can make breakfast. You know, got time, got more time today. You know what I'm saying? And I was gonna get some lunch items, because while I was working, I ain't gonna lie, it's so easy to be like, okay, I'm just buy some fast food. But now that I'm not working, I'm like, bro, I'm not about to make that excuse and then be running up the savings that I have, because that's what I was saying too. Like, instead of just like preparing, what other ways was I prepared? 6 to 8 months of bills already saved. You know, I've already have that much saved in my account. So that's why I'm like, I was very calculated this time. So like, even though, but I say that to say your boy was still nervous. So it just goes to show that sometimes you really just gotta let go and just let God just handle it, and that you worrying isn't gonna make it any better or worse. It's just you're just stressing yourself out, and that's really what I was doing. So I feel bad, but it's a learning experience. You know, I'm giving myself grace. You know what I'm saying? I'm learning every day. You know, but you know, essentially, make that breakfast. I ain't gonna lie, breakfast was hidden. It almost hit so much that I almost freaking took a nap. But I said no, I gotta go to school. So I went to school, went to class. Essentially in class, you know, like I said, in person, I have my 30/40 class, which is research methods in psychology. We just been following up our survey experiment, or not experiment, but we've been working on a survey with my group, and now we're working on SPSS, which is where we basically make graphs. Because like I said, I would have to go into so much detail, you know, but just to give you guys a small summary, SPSS is a statistician tool that we use to look at data and then be able to make graphs and different points, and that's what we're working on this week. So essentially this week I'm going to be making SPSS for my results from my survey, so I'll keep you guys updated on that. And we did get to the 200 people, so shout out to everybody that participated in my survey. Big thank you to you guys, because I ain't gonna lie, my professor's been telling me about the other class that like, hey, we low-key doing really good. Like, she don't even know what the other class is on. So, you know, it's looking like 4.0 semester is still within reach. It's still in my grasp. Firmly grasp it. I'm telling you, if I make it to the finals with all A's, I know I'm passing with all A's, because I know I'm gonna. My in-person class, we don't even have a final. Dead homies. It's a freaking essay and a presentation. So I know I'm gonna ace stats. My online classes, as long as I stay afloat with those, man, we in there. But essentially, after I went to class, did my classwork, you know what I'm saying? Landscaped after class. Then I headed home, ate some sandwiches, and then I took a nap before the night run, because Keeper 100, their 8th year anniversary was on Tuesday. I tried to take a nap, couldn't take a nap, but I think it's because, like I said, my brain is on waiting to hear back from the job interview, but my body's like trying to be in the moment, and it just wasn't working out. So I didn't really get that much sleep, but it didn't really affect me or anything like that, because I went to the area, you know what I'm saying, landscape on the way there, faded as heck, I ain't gonna lie, faded a motherfucker, get to the run, we do the run, 3 miles, let me see what my pace was, I think it was 8:30, but nah, it was a good run, they had a big turnout, so, you know, shout out once again to Keep It 100, best run group that I've joined so far. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's not really fair. I'm only in two, and like I said, Hold Is Fit is my home, so they're always gonna have my hurt. You feel me? Whoa, this guy's crazy. I need to just leave it. Well, not my fault, because I was supposed to show y'all my stats, but shout out to Chris Flight. That nigga be making. That's what I'm saying. Anytime I'm telling you, anytime you think you working out a lot, there's a nigga out there that's working out 10 times harder, bro. Trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. What the heck? I thought I could have sworn that I had did post my because usually after my workouts, right, every time I do a workout, I always like to date it so that way when I make my TikTok I could go through it. I could have sworn I dated my workout for yesterday. I guess I didn't, but yesterday was a shoulder day. You feel me? But essentially, the Keep It 100 was a 3-mile run, exactly 8 minutes 32-second pace, 25 minutes 38 seconds the entire run. Shout out to everybody who gave me a kudos, and it was in Santa Monica. Man, big shout out to my niggas, man. Shout out to Nicholas. Shout out to Miles, man, because I see my brothers up there. And shout out to this, I forgot his name. This other brother that I met during the hike with Boss Man. So shout out to all those 3 brothers right there. Y'all helped me going. Y'all kept me going and shit. And it's always so funny because I be feeling bad. Like, every time I go to the run club, like, they always, like, in a sense, like, they have, like, vibe. They always vibe after. I don't be having the patience for the vibe because, I don't know. I think it's just because I'm really just there for the workout for real. And, yeah, I'm there to, like, you know, mingle and stuff. But once I do my workout, it's like, I could low-key go. So, I ain't gonna lie. Once I finished the run with the with the Keep It 100, I left. And I felt bad because I was like, dang, like, I'm sure there was probably gonna, but I don't really know nobody there. And I don't be really trying to get to know nobody for real. Not yet. Probably when I graduate, I'll be more open and stuff. But right now, I just feel like, even this month too, because I remember I was saying, I was like, man, you know, now that I have no job, I could hang out with more people. And at first, I was, you know, telling people, like, hey, just so you know, you want to work out? Hit me up in April. You trying to do this? Let me know in April. So far, nobody's been really saying anything. So probably only person I'm probably gonna really fuck with is probably my auntie, because I know she wants me. I'll have to reach out to her because I know she's busy. So I'll probably fuck with her, and then yeah. Other than that, I'm just keep it how I keep it. You know, like I said, I want to try to get, you know, me and Donovan's schedule is kind of different now because he works super early. So and the days he works. So you know, but other than that, I'm about to just be on my solo dolo grind. You know, keep it going. You feel me? So if you guys want to work out with your boy, hit me up. I might let you know. But as it's going right now, I'm about to just be straight edge on my stuff. So that's to say that's why after that run, we were talking about a little bit of stuff. I said bye to what I need to say bye to, and then I got up out of there. And then on yesterday, man, mind you, like I said, once I didn't hear nothing on Tuesday, I'm going to be honest with y'all, I thought they ghosted your boy. I said, hey, most of the time, jobs at least will reject you and say, hey, sorry, we choose another candidate. But I said, oh man, I guess they were too nice to say that because maybe the vibe was just too good and they were like, you know what? That's what I'm saying. That's how my brain is so weird. I was like, maybe they didn't want to hurt my feelings. So they're like, look, we're just not going to say anything and we're just going to leave it up to interpretation. We told you we were going to treat you by Tuesday. If we didn't, take that as we not fucking with you. That's how I took it. So when on Wednesday, I kind of was just like at peace. I'm like, okay, not going to think about it anymore. I'm not going to stress it anymore. I'm just going to go about my life, focus on graduation. Somebody just commented on the podcast, on the stream. What the? She commented nothing. They commented nothing. So yeah. So literally, Wednesday, I woke up a little late. I ain't gonna lie. Yes, I woke up a little late, and then I went to the gym, another chest day, like I told you guys. And then because I already went shopping on Tuesday for breakfast, I kind of knew what I needed now. So I was looking for lunch items now. So essentially, I went to Food for Less, double back there, got me some lunch items. So basically, I got places that I eat. I got me some chicken patties to basically replace my Chick-fil-A, and I got me some chicken tenders to replace my Cane's, and I got me some mini hot dog, corn dogs to replace my Wingstop. You know, and I got some curly fries in the freezer too. So essentially, me and my air fryer, we finna be real close. And then I made some steak yesterday. I got some steak as well, steak and beef, because I was gonna make burgers. You know, burgers and chicken sandwiches. Duh. But I mean, I would love to make a chicken sandwich from scratch, but no, it is what it is. I know I can make a burger from scratch. It's a chicken stuff that be kind of like throwing me for a loop. But essentially, yeah, I got my lunch items from Food for Less. Came home, like I said, it's a Wednesday. I got nowhere to be. Just came home, just did my stuff. Started cooking my breakfast, which was a steak and egg breakfast. As you guys can see too, I told you guys we're gonna be doing more longer episodes. I thought I was gonna wrap it up, but I'm like, I'm too vibed out. We might as well keep talking. Might as well keep the episode rolling. Dead homies. So then made my steak and eggs. Made my mom some steak. I made myself 2 steaks. Only ate 1. Relax. 2 hash browns, 3 eggs, 4 waffles. What can I say? I'm a big guy. Gotta eat. And then literally as I'm making the steak, I get the email from the job saying that I got hired. So it's just so you know, when I say my angels are looking out for me, that's what I mean. Like, they were like, man, I don't know why you worry, because we do what we need to do. Come to find out, the person that was supposed to reach out to me actually felt ill. So shout out to her for real, because I'm glad she's feeling better. I even told her on the phone, so I'm glad you're okay, because honestly speaking, that's low-key a relief. It's like, I'm glad that was just like, oh, someone just wasn't feeling well. It wasn't like they wasn't fucking with your boy. You know what I mean? Like, that's not to sound terrible, not to sound like an asshole. But I was like, ooh, I'm glad she was just under the weather, So then they let me know. Then my mom know the good news. Not telling my dad yet, because I know how he is. And then, essentially, that's why I ain't gonna lie. I kind of started, the excitement started kicking in, and I started doing my homework, because that's what I was going to spend all my yesterdays. That's what I was really supposed to spend yesterday doing. But I just got sidetracked, because as I'm doing the homework, I ain't gonna lie, I took a shot at some Dawn, because I was just feeling myself. I'm like, the relief of like, now I could really just go to school, go to class, and I got something waiting for me at the end. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got 2 finish lines. I got a finish line for work, for school, and I got another finish line for the work. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I got 2 things that I'm heading towards that are waiting for me, essentially. So now I get to just enjoy the journey. Like not sometimes, all the time. I'm gonna be honest. I need to work on that. I really don't be enjoying the journey as much as I should. Like, sometimes I'm so focused on the destination. That I don't really take the time to smell the flowers. But now that, like I said, because of the need that I had, I needed to make sure everything was okay. I needed to make sure that I had a job. I needed to make sure I could graduate. I needed to make sure that all these things were lined up. Now I could relax and kind of be on some, like, I kind of go on autopilot. I could kind of go in cruise mode. You feel me? So now I could just focus on locking in for the rest of the semester, making sure my grades stay good, stay high, which, like I said, I really kind of like, because now that I have extra time, I'm able to put extra effort and extra attention and detail to my homework. So that's when I realized, I was like, yeah, doing homework and drinking is not a good combo. You feel me? Because I was over there getting lit, having a good ass time, wasn't able to focus on work, but I did a good amount of my homework, and then that's when I remembered. I said, oh shit, it is Wednesday. Why did I drink? That's how I'm like, I be thinking of 10 things at once, but still trying to live. So that's why I was like, fuck, I'm lit as hell right now, but let's still try to get this topics list together. So got the topic list for the podcast, discuss, figure out what I was going to talk about. I couldn't really find that much stuff on Instagram and Twitter this week. I ain't gonna lie. Last week, because I didn't get to none of that shit. There was a lot. But I told myself, if I don't talk about it in that week, erase it. I gotta just move on, because it's just so much going on in the world that if I keep trying to go back to stuff, I'm going to be, I don't know. I just feel like I'm never going to be up to date. So essentially, that's really what happened. And then now we're here Thursday, and you know what I'm saying? We're here. So that was my weekly recap. And then, yeah, because at first I remember I was going to tell you guys about that what happened with the last job and stuff, and why I feel like I should have known better. But honestly, I don't think I even have to talk about it anymore. I think the focus has shifted enough away from that we don't have to discuss it. We could talk about how, from Instagram though, I guess, some of the topics that happened this week, because like I said, pretty much about to wrap up this episode. The Wireless Festival, which I didn't really know too much about, but apparently Drake headlined it last year, had to be canceled because Kanye is refused access to the UK. The show is in July, but it's been trending right now because Kanye West did a whole bunch of anti-Semitic stuff, which even me, man, I think this honestly, because I was like, man, there's not that much to talk about, but honestly speaking, this right here is a lot because I'm a big Kanye West fan. I love Kanye West, and like I really respected the hell out of him to the point where I was even reasoning with him with when he was saying that slavery was a choice. I was one of the few people that was really trying to like make it make sense. Like, guys, like y'all just not understanding him, and I feel bad because like some people, and I guess that's what I'm learning. Like when it comes to some of these people that we look at that entertain us, some of our entertainers, I think we just gotta remove them from or separate ourselves from trying to like get to know them too much. Sometimes, you know, because even me, sometimes I'll be like, I'll hear a song, I'll be like, what, did this nigga know that he was making such a good song? Sometimes I don't even think these artists be really connected to their person. Like their artistry might be such a separate person from their actual being, because the art that Kanye West creates makes it so confusing with why he would even be on this hateful path. And that's why I was so lost when he was on this anti-Semitic type stuff. When he made the Heil Hitler song, which I feel like nobody's really acknowledging the fact of. It's probably because it doesn't matter. You know, if anything, I'm trying to absolve him from any blame. But I don't think y'all realize that's when he was fucking with Dave Blunt's. Dave Blunt's. If you know anything about Dave Blunt's, look up the song "Crying in the Kitchen." I'm gonna actually play that song for y'all because I fuck with Dave Blunt's, right? Dave Blunt's. So, just to let you know, this nigga makes troll music. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's low-key a troll. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. At least that's how I view him. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if Dave Blunt wants to come out and say he's a serious artist, but from the music he's made, he kind of reminds me of Ugly God. Like, you know? They're good at what they do, but they don't really say the most thought-provoking things, you know? But around the time Kanye West was doing all that Hitler, or like anti-Semitic shit, he was fucking with Dave Blunt's. When Kanye West made the Heil Hitler song, I don't know, maybe my brain was just able to just be quicker than everybody. I knew Dave Blunt had to have something to do with it. Even the lyrics on that song, it sounded like Dave Blunt rapped it and they put an AI version of Kanye West on it. Just based on the lyrics. And I wish I could play it, but if I play it, I feel like that would be low-key promoting that, you know what I'm saying, anti-Semitic stuff, so I'm not going to play it. If you want to listen on your own, feel free to do so. But I feel like if you listen to any Kanye West song, and then you listen to that song, besides maybe, "You're such a fucking hoe, I love it," you could tell the difference. Like, I could tell that, I'm like, yeah, Kanye West, you know, he's come out and say he has writers. I could tell, I was like, Kanye West didn't just do the song all by himself. But it doesn't necessarily negate or doesn't absolve him from any responsibility for what he did. Because at the end of the day, when you're the face of the brand, you take the face of everything, technically speaking. So, I ain't gonna lie. That nigga Kanye West did all that shit, and I don't know why. Like, one thing, that's what I'm saying, guys. And come closer, black people. Come closer, black people. Come on. Let's just all come closer and let's call a spade a spade. One thing we keep realizing, that one thing we keep being shown and been proven, the Jewish people, the Jewish community do not play. They do not play. Whether it's a Jewish community in the U.S., whether it's a Jewish community in the UK, they know how to. It's like one head, one band, one sound. They're so on the same page. It's not even funny, because even I knew. I said, bro, Kanye West, if this is a battle that you're going to really take, you better be ready to take it all the way. But as usual, people be ready to take battles for their own causes, and that's what I'm saying. Maybe I just don't know, but they made it seem like, this is what I guess was said, was that he was just doing all this to get a better deal. So he, you know what I'm saying, he burned the bridges, you know what I'm saying, he shut the whole thing down for his cause, and I guess it got him to the goal he wanted. But naturally, you know, like I said, I could tell he wasn't really with that Heil Hitler stuff anyway. I feel like naturally now he's like, okay, cool, I can take off the mask now, and now he's trying to come fuck with people again, and they're not letting you slide. They're like, it's like that dark side versus Superman meme where Superman was trying to walk away. Not so fast, my boy. Bring that ass here. And it's so funny because that's all they're saying. They're not even caring. Nobody's even talking about anything he did with the Trump. Nobody's even talking about. They just keep talking about. I mean, then again, him supporting Trump wouldn't stop him from getting into the country. But I'm just saying, like, nobody's talking about none of the crazy shit because he's done a lot of crazy shit. But the Heil Hitler shit is just so pivotal. Granted, yeah, but it's so freaking much that's all they gotta say. Whenever playing I was watching academics talk about it. Shout out to academics. They were playing clips when he was playing clips about the UK talking about it. The way they flat out just called Kanye West a Nazi, like straight up. And like the person that was even trying to get Kanye West to come over there was like, bro, I think he deserves another chance, guys. Like should we not forgive? Do we not forgive? But they're like, yeah, we forgive, but this nigga was fucking with Hitler, like, and that's all. Like, I don't know. Even when he was trying, cause he was even saying shit like, you know, like I could reason with him. I could see myself in Hitler. I understand some of his like ideals. I'm like, bro, it's like I said, it's like a nigga that just ran. Like I seen a video of this guy that just randomly killed this lady. He was like hitting her car with a hammer, and then he hit her with the hammer. People that just do stuff, I just feel like is there certain things you can't reason with them. Cool, maybe on paper Hitler might have been a smart guy, whatever. The fact that nigga caused the Holocaust, I feel like should just negate anybody from even like trying to, you know what I'm saying, see themselves in him. But man, it just sucks though, because I'm just saying that in the sense that, like I said, black people, we for sure get punished. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas, they gonna always make a lesson out of you. They gonna teach you a lesson. You know, and I feel like sadly, as much as I fuck with Kanye, they gotta show him, they gotta prove a point. You know, and it sucks because, like I said, I don't know what he was going through that made him feel like Hitler and him were like seeing eye to eye, but I don't think that it just wasn't worth it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure he's seeing now that it wasn't worth it. You know, but you never know in the moment. You're only able to know in hindsight. You feel me? So yeah. So shout out to Kanye West, and you know, sadly he's not able to perform. You know, at the Wireless. Ma, on my phone. I'm recording. She went, okay. I gotta call my mom's phone, y'all, real quick. Give me a second. I'm gonna call her right now. But while I do that, I can get this other topic ready. So yeah, so also, about to say, this guy, this is like just some like, what you call it, local news, I guess you could say. This freaking guy set a place on fire. No problem, ma. This guy, what you call it? Where is it? Where was it at? Dang, I could have sworn I liked it. But yeah, it was a warehouse staff member. He freaking set the place on fire. It was a tissue place. It was like $1 million of damage. And I was like, damn. And in the video, you could hear him like, yeah, this is what happens when you guys don't pay people enough to live.
Enough to live or afford to live. At least pay us enough not to do this.
Arson investigators say this video posted to social media is part of their investigation into the warehouse fire early Tuesday morning in Ontario. It appears to show cases of toilet paper being set on fire, while a person repeatedly claims he isn't paid enough to live on. 29-year-old Shamil Abdul Karim has been arrested for felony arson. Police say he was working at the warehouse through a third-party company. Investigators say they are reviewing the video, but have not confirmed whether the person is Abdul Karim for the massive blaze that destroyed the more than 1 million square foot facility. Firefighters were able to contain the blaze to the building.
Wait, because no offense, right? Unless the gentleman is like is whitewashed, the person's hand they showed is a white man hand, and they said something Abdul Karim.
No one was injured.
Sounds
Fire
a little
officials
fishy.
tell us arson was suspected almost immediately based on how quick the fire spread inside the facility. We spoke to a coworker who told us He had just met the suspect moments before the fire broke out.
No suspicion that it was him. Actually, he was missing, so everyone was trying to find him. Everyone was blaming the robots at first. We were almost 100% sure it was the robots until we seen that video, of course.
Definitely, it was uncharacteristic fire. Just the fire behavior that they were experiencing inside.
Damn.
And the rapid spread of that fire for such a large building. To move that quickly, it definitely pushed our firefighters into that defensive operation, and that was one indication that it could possibly be a arson of nature.
In the final clip of the
Damn.
video, it appears to show a corridor of the warehouse in flames, with the person stating,
Here goes your inventory.
more than 24 hours later, the fire is still smoldering. It's created a thick haze of smoke and ash in the immediate area.
That's what I'm saying, man. Bro, man, check on your peoples, bro. We don't know what these niggas be going through, bro. Could you imagine? Niggas set up a whole warehouse on fire. Not a neighboring people gotta suffer. That's fucked up. So, I didn't do too much speaking on this because, like I said, you know, when rappers get into their gangster shit, you know me, I'm hypocritical in the sense of like, I'm not gonna tell you guys to do crime, but I'm like, if you're gonna do it, stand on business. So I respect the niggas that stand on business. But you know, Lil TJ and Offset had a situation recently, and overall, everybody's just been coming out the woodworks with just situations about Offset and how he's been owing them money. And it just makes me just think to myself, like, why do y'all do this? Like, why do y'all wait till it's like, and then it don't come off other than like y'all clout chasing. Like the moment Offset's situations come out, now this football player said that Offset was like kind of like got him for $8,000, and then when he asked him, but this was kind of funny. He said, I got Offset for 8 bands, and then Offset said, I'm gonna take a nap. So he said that when Offset was taking a nap and he went to go tap him, the people he was with said, leave him alone. And like the guy was like, all right, I'm outnumbered, so I'm gonna leave it alone. But I just thought that was just so funny. I'm like, why you ain't say that earlier? Like, why wait till this situation to try to like kick a nigga while he's down? Like, and then like I said, the reason I say that is because, do y'all not think the person's gonna see that? Like, do y'all not know? Like, do y'all not? I don't know. I guess people just really don't be expecting any follow up because I'm like, bro, if you trying to get some clout off of me, best believe I'm hitting you. I'm like, yeah, what's up? So either some of me the 8 bands and shit, like, man. But then again, if I was in an Offset position, I just would have paid these niggas. I don't like owing people nothing. I don't like owing people time. But, you know, I say that to say that Ebro did some corny shit to me, which is like I said, I feel like if you're gonna do some corny shit, stand on it. Or just don't talk about it. When you try to apologize and like, man, Ebro is somebody that, like I said, I respect him because I feel like he's pretty intelligent, so shout out to him. But it's like he don't be knowing how to read the room. Like he be coming off like he be like, man, I didn't know how this was gonna come out and be taken. Bro, how you don't know how this is gonna be taken, bro? Every time. But let's listen.
That's to Offset, though. I want to apologize to Offset, though, because when we were talking yesterday about this story and you asked me if he owed me money, I didn't know there was going to be this day-long pile-on. Like, I don't know and didn't realize that all people were going to start claiming that Offset owes them money. Me and Offset made a goofy bet at the Super Bowl.
And it only came up because the story was about gambling, and when we started talking about debts, and did you reach out to him?
I want to apologize to Offset, though.
Like, how you gonna talk about something on a radio?
About this story, and you asked me if
how you gonna talk about on a radio show, and then say, I didn't think everybody was gonna start piling on. Okay.
people were gonna start claiming that Offset owes them money. Me and Offset made a goofy bet at the Super Bowl.
And it only came up because the story was about gambling, and when we started talking about debts and gambling, I remembered...
Because I tweeted about it at the time.
It was silly. And it was
silly.
I remember that you had a bet with him. I didn't know that it was going to go that way.
Right. And then when I heard this story yesterday, it didn't seem that egregious. And now when I'm hearing the details, and the details started coming out yesterday, I didn't realize Lil TJ and Offset really had a problem. I thought this was just... cats, they got into it with some other cat. I didn't know what was going on. So I want to apologize to Offset because that's my guy. I want to apologize to Offset, though.
Did you reach out to him?
Yeah, I reached out to him yesterday, and we was laughing in the text. But I still felt terrible seeing my name.
Ebro says Offset owes him $5,000.
Yeah, it was like, bruh, you know. So Look, that's my bad, because we get up here, we get chatty, we goofing around, cracking jokes.
But you also did the joke very dry, which you do sometimes.
Yeah.
You didn't like smile during it. You were like, yeah, you only, but you were like, you didn't think that was going to become the narrative.
I like his coworker, cause you could tell he be trying to bail him out. He be really trying. Like he said, you said it dry. Like you didn't even say it like you usually say it. So like they should have knew you wasn't that serious. Okay.
Fine.
But this is the clip.
Didn't you and Offset have a bet?
He owes me $5,000. Oh no.
Oh God.
He does.
Was it a serious? Yo, Baskin.
Oh God.
Offset's fine. He's. I tried to call him last night.
But was it a serious bet? Like,
yeah, we bet on the Super Bowl in New Orleans.
Now, if you had lost, would you have paid him?
I mean, I bet $5,000. I was prepared to pay him $5,000.
You were prepared to?
Yes.
That is funny, though.
I've talked to him 1,000 times since then and never jammed him up about $5,000.
No, of course.
Because clearly he's somebody that didn't pay his bet. Like, why I'm not going to chase you around about $5,000 is not a big deal to me.
But that's what I'm saying. You see, like, you could tell he was like, clearly he's not going to pay me back. Like, he hasn't paid these people back. Relax. So you knew you was piling on. You was piling on. But you know how people are. Dang, man. I see the reaction, not feel bad. I'm sorry, guys. But and then we're gonna end it right here because, like I said, you know, shout out to my ladies out there. Shout out to all the women out there, all the beautiful baddies out there. This is I know this for the niggas, but you know my women be up here. You know what's actually funny? Recently, the niggas have started to take over, y'all. Women, what's going on, y'all? Where y'all going? The niggas are starting to listen to this podcast more than y'all. Sorry. I'm just going off the stats. I'm just going off the data, you know. But I thought this was a really interesting topic because I feel like sometimes I'm saying I know they be like, oh, guys gotta stay out of women's business, but sometimes niggas we do need to hear this information, and I feel like that's why science is important, you know. That's why a nigga like me needs to come through and put the nerd, you know, put my nerd scope on this stuff because, you know, essentially, Jada Waiter, they were talking on a podcast about how long a good session should last, and like I said, I love the you know, I love the openness. I love it. I love hearing about it. Love hearing about how you gotta be fucking. Love it. I just don't like how girls don't be ever mentioning how like, bro, y'all bodies are different than guys. Like, I literally took a sex and gender class. Like, guys, we have a refractory period after we orgasm. You know, after we finish, there's a refractory period where we have to reset and get our bodies back up. That's sorry. That's just nature. I guess that's, you know what I'm saying. I don't like making jokes like that. But that was, you know, our way of getting neutered. We only gonna get to bust one time, once in a while. You know what I'm saying. We gotta save it up. Save it up, and then we can't, you know what I'm saying, we can only use it at one time. But women, y'all don't have that refractory period. Y'all could busting up. So I just feel like it's kind of, so before, cause I didn't feel it listening, I just seen the headline, I was like, okay, I want to talk about this on the podcast. But I didn't feel like it's unfair, you know what I'm saying, because it's like, women that say, yeah, like, a good session should last this long, but it's like, girl, do y'all, I'm going to say how it is. Do y'all know what y'all have between y'all legs? That wet, gushy, mushy, warm-ass place. And you want me to put you want me to put it in there, and it's embracing me. It's making me feel like everything is going to be okay. Like, I could really be myself here. I'm going to release. You seen that? I'm going into this nice, warm, wet place. It's making me feel like everything's okay. I'm going to release. I'm going to open. So it's natural. So I just be feeling like, girls, like, please remember, we're trying our best. At least I'm trying my best. At least, like I said, as a woman pleaser, I'm trying my best. And even I still nut fast. So it's like, come on, y'all. Y'all gotta give a nigga some grace. Give a nigga some grace. Look, we could do it, and then give me like 20 minutes. Okay, honestly, give me 30 minutes, and then back in there. But I just be feeling so bad when girls be saying that, because I'm like, dang, bro. It sound good. To be like, yeah, nigga should be able to. But scientifically, that's just not right. But let's listen to these beautiful ladies talk about it. My bad. I should have had it more ready because I'll be forgetting my listeners. They gotta hear something.
Topic.
Oh yeah. So even man, I feel them because it was Lil Wayne's daughter, Reginae Carter, that was talking about it. That was talking about it. So it's like, man, it's one of those things where it's like, man, I fuck with your dad. I should not be hearing this about you, sis.
For the bed topic, we're gonna talk about how long are people actually. Okay, so for the bed topic, we're gonna talk about how long are people actually having sex. Like, what is an ideal time for you? Because I think that we've all been in situations where you was like, okay, that ain't last long enough. And then sometimes it's like, okay, well, when the fuck is this shit gonna be over? And that's usually with like the Henny dick and shit.
I hate Henny dick.
That's usually like a long night of drinking. You be like, when this shit gonna be over?
I love a nigga that get drunk and pass out.
Yeah.
I don't want that Hennessy dick. It just be too much. It be too long. I think if we're not including like the foreplay, I think like a good sex session, or we're talking purely
cheeks clapping,
good 10 to 15. 10 to 15, that's all I need. Oh, that's all I need. Because honestly, when I'm by myself and I got my 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay, so for the bed time.
30 seconds? 30 seconds? Damn. Yeah. So she says 10 to 15 minutes. Okay.
That's why niggas be mad when you use toys. I'm like this. For me, 15 to 20, that's good. Anything less than that, I'm not there yet. Anything more than that, I done dried up.
I would say probably like a good, like, 10, 15.
See, because you young, though. Young girls, y'all little different.
It depends. Like, it really depends because, like, if I'm lit.
Okay. Oh, see, I'm opposite.
Okay, like, really?
We be all night.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
See, so that's interesting. So, I mean, I feel like I can agree with that. 10 to 15 minutes of just smacking. Cool. Hey. Some days I'm gonna do that. And some days I'm giving you the best I got. When you lay your head at night,
I was young.
When you go to sleep at night, just know I gave you everything I got. Just know I gave you everything I have. Everything I have. It's a Shannon Sharp video.
Is when you lay your head on that pillow at night. You know I gave you everything I had.
You did.
I gave you everything I had.
All I ask is when you lay your head on that pillow that night, just know I gave you everything I had. I gave you everything I had. So with that, guys, I will be bringing this podcast episode to a close. This has been episode 40 of the Stay Down and Late podcast with your host, K-Stacks to P. And I appreciate every single one of you guys. Thank you to all of those that listen. Thank you to all of those that watch. Thank you to all of those that like the content. And thank you to all of you guys that hate on a nigga because you guys want to beat a nigga. Or you guys want to be my homies. We're probably not going to be friends, but, just stop hating on me. It's not going to get you anywhere. But to all the people that love me, I love you guys too. Passing all the blessings, all the love, and respect to you guys. Hope you guys have a great morning. Good morning. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night, depending on whatever time you guys are watching this and wherever you guys are watching this at. Shout out to all you guys. Shout out to all the Scorpions out there. The Scorpions, you guys are what keep me going. Shout out to my family. Shout out to all my loved ones, all the people out there. And, of course, shout out to the Rackies, because it's K-Stacky. So if you guys already know the deal, make sure you guys, check out on my other episodes, like I said, comment, You get to know me in the comments, I don't bite. Just eat. You know what I mean? Just eating. We just eating. We just bread it up. You know what I'm saying? Dead homies. Bread it up. nigga. I'm out of here.